Welcome to Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is the 24th of September, 2023 edition. Busy night tonight. We have Anne of the Airlanes, a feminine hero, not too often heard on old-time radio, followed by Boston Blackie, a quiz show called Second Chance, Jerry at Fair Oaks, not to be confused with Jerry of the Circus. Jerry at Fair Oaks is a young boy at a military school. Next we have X-1, then Barrel of Fun, 1 out of 7. We don't often editorialize when it comes to these old-time programs, but this program you may find a little disturbing. Although its intention is certainly good, you'll have to decide for yourself if Senator Bilbo is an honorable man. We follow this with Firefighters and then an episode of Jungle Jim.
Over valley and mountain, river and plain, through wind and storm, rides Anne of the Airlanes.
Ann Burton, after delivering a secret wavelength to Jack Baker by parachuting down to the uncharted airport in the heart of the Florida Everglades, has attempted to find her way back to the emergency landing field near Miami. Meanwhile, Jack, apparently falling in with a scheme to smuggle diamonds from Africa, is assisting the government Secret Service in gathering information on the illicit diamond syndicate. Arrangements have been made for gasoline with which to fly the Atlantic Ocean, and as Jack waits for this gas, Joe mentions the name of a man, evidently a native, that he met who called himself Zeb. At the mention of the name, Vic grows excited and speeds the preparations for the takeoff. Meanwhile, a native armed with a rifle has taken Aunt Hattie and Art Morrison into custody. Could it be the same man that Joe met? And if so, what connection has he with the smuggling ring? And what of Ann Burton? Will she appear at the emergency field? Suppose we look in at the emergency field near Miami. Listen.
No, sir, I didn't see hide nor hair of her anywhere.
Oh, I'm sure that Anne would be able to find a phone or some way of letting us know.
Well, I think Anne either hid herself to wait for darkness or she's making pretty slow progress. Unless
what, Mr. Morrison?
I reckon he means unless she got tangled up in them Everglades. And it ain't no trick at all to do that, especially when you don't know 'em.
I suppose I should be very calm and collected, but frankly, I'm nervous as a cat. And you with that rifle last night. Well, that wasn't exactly a sedative to my nerves.
I'm sorry about that, Miss Jackson, but I thought you folks was hooked up with them smugglers, and I wasn't taking no chances.
Oh, one could see that perfectly. But I still can't see why you're interested in these smuggling people, Mr. Zeb. Surely you're not connected with the government, too.
Well, no, except that I'm a citizen of it. I guess you must have been sort of dozing when I told Morrison about it last night.
Well, I'll admit I was pretty sleepy. But my feminine curiosity is burning to know all about it.
You're sure it's all right to tell her the whole thing, Mr. Morrison?
Oh, of course, Zeb. Aunt Hattie has certainly been a great help to us so far. And I'm sure your story might clear up a lot of things.
Well, there ain't a whole lot to tell, Mom, as Morrison knows. I used to live here in Florida a few years back. And then me and another fella, named George Ross, got hold of a map from an old sailor while we was down at Key West one time. It showed the place where there was supposed to be a lot of diamonds.
You mean here in Florida?
No, Mom. George would probably have been here today if it had have been. No, these diamonds were in a place in Africa, just a little ways from where the Kimberley mines are, but where nobody ever thought of looking for diamonds before.
You never told me, Zeb, where the sailor got the map in the first place.
I know it because I don't know. You just don't ask sailors where they get things like that. I did him a good turn, and he give me the map because he said he was too old to have a try at it himself.
But surely he could have sold an interest in the map.
Yes'm, and I was going to give him part of whatever me and George found, except that he died before we even left Key West. So us two, me and George, we get jobs on cattle boats to Cape Town. And from there, we sort of fought our way through the jungle. Part of the time fighting the wild animals and part of the time with the savages.
But you found the place.
Yes'm, just like the map showed. The natives had been using the stones for sort of decorations for years. Only they liked the 10-cent store jewelry we took 'em lots better.
Just think of that, not knowing the value of real diamonds.
Well, to tell you the truth, Mum, from the standpoint of decoration, the glass looked lots better. But that's the only thing the natives was looking for, so by trading them the stuff they wanted, we got along with them pretty good.
It's whatever possessed you to leave there with a fortune in your hand.
Well, now, I was coming to that. One day after George and me got together, what we thought was enough to last any man a lifetime, one of the natives come running up and told us that they was white men in the neighborhood, and the signal drums had sent out the word that the strangers were kind of low down and no good, and that they'd been asking for 2 Americans and a diamond mine.
You know, those signal drums are almost as good as white man's radio.
Better. Nobody understands them, except those that they're supposed to. Well, I decided to leave George on guard at the mine and go to the native village and have a talk with the chief and see who these fellas were. But I get to the village and it's deserted.
You mean the natives had run away?
Well, them as didn't run never would run again. Place looked like a cyclone had struck it. So I went back to our camp just as fast as I could, and, well, they'd beat me to it. Cleaned out everything slick as a whistle. Diamonds, supplies, everything.
But your friend George?
Never saw a hide nor hair of him. Not a trace. But tacked on a tree was a note saying that this was just a warning, that they would take care of the mine from now on. And it was signed the doctor. Well, I couldn't stay there with no supplies, so I made my way back to the coast. Then I decided to come to the States and see if I couldn't run down the dock and maybe get back some of the diamonds he'd robbed me of. And see if I couldn't get some wind of George.
My. It all sounds like something out of a book. Oh, please go on, Mr. Zeb.
Well, I got a sort of a hint that they was operating out of the Everglades with airplanes, and I've been here for the last few weeks trying to find one of them. I thought sure I had 'em dead to rights when I come upon you two last night.
Well, Mr. Zeb, now that you know it really was Doc's gang that you missed, and you know where they are, just what do you think you can do about it?
Well, now, Miss Jackson, you sort of got me there.
Zeb, I've been sort of thinking things over. Why don't we join forces in this thing?
Well, sir, I was just sort of hoping that you'd mention something like that. Only I don't think I'd be much use in one of them airships.
Now, you just leave the airship business up to us. And you take care of the tracking job, which is far more important. Now, the first thing that I'd suggest would be...
Shh. Listen.
What is it? Did you hear something coming? Oh!
Somebody talking. Kind of far away like.
I don't seem to... Yes. Oh, I get it. It's the radio. I turn the receiver on every now and then. Much as I hate to use the battery, but just in case we get a call. And it looks like we have a bite. I'll see if it is. Well, I hate to use the battery this way, but here goes. Need a little volume, I guess.
D12 calling Morrison. D12 calling Morrison.
Morrison answering D12. Come in, D12.
Where are you, Morrison? Can you give us your exact position?
Can't give you exact latitude and longitude, but... Well, let's see. I'm about 14 miles northwest of Miami as I make it.
Close enough. We've been picking up carrier wave from interstate transport for the last 2 hours, but no voice until a short time ago. Then heard sound like stumbling over something and woman's voice saying, I must hide quick, but where? What do you make of it?
Sounds like Ann Burton's been forced to hide in the ship. But you didn't hear Baker?
Not a sound except the carrier wave.
Have you cross-checked the position of the transport?
Our check shows it must be about 40 miles northwest of you. What are your plans?
Well, we're still waiting for Ann Burton to show up here. We may have to chance a flight to pick her up. I'll call you back in a few minutes.
Okay, Morrison. Good luck.
Thanks, D12.
You don't suppose those 2 gangsters have discovered Anne, do you, Mr. Art?
Well, from what D12 heard, it doesn't sound like it. But it's sure that she hasn't found any way to get away from that secret airport.
But we have to do something.
Well, of course, we don't know just how long it'll be before they can get that ship gassed up for the ocean flight. But they probably have a supply of gas not far away.
Yes, there's a sort of a renegade ship's outfitter runs in gas for these fellas. And from the place that radio man gives, he ain't so far away, but what they could have a lot of gasoline in that airship by this time.
Then that means they might be starting out right now.
Well, once they start out, that'll give Jack a chance to contact our headquarters. Because Vic and Joe won't be able to hear what he says or what he hears through the earphones. What about Ann? Well, that one has me stumped.
Well, it ain't got me stumped. That is, if we got one of them fancy bumbershoot that them flyers used to come down in.
You mean a parachute? Say, there's a couple of them packed in the back. Just who's going to do it?
I am, by cracky. If that snip of a girl had nerve enough to jump over out of an airship and trust a couple of yards of goods to keep her from breaking her neck, I guess Zebulon Abercrombie, Esquire, can do it, too. All you have to do is show me how to make the thing bust open at the right time.
But I don't understand just what you intend to do when you get there. If Anne couldn't get back, how do you think that
Now,
you...
here's what I figure. I'll jump out of this thing somewhere near this landing field. But you gotta fly over it, so's I'll know, because I sure missed it while I was prowling around down there. But you fly pretty close, but not close enough to give them a hint. If they ain't left with that big ship yet, then I'll find my way to where they keep the airship.
Yeah, but I still don't see how you intend to locate Anne.
Well, after hearing what that radio man said, I get it like this. That girl ain't been able to find the road, or else she's afraid to get out on it for fear of being seen, as long as them two crooks are still there. So she comes back to the only place she knows that she can hide, which is the shed where the airship is. Somebody must have been coming pretty close to the shed when she talked into that radio, so she just slipped into the airship until they left. Well, she's bound to be close to that shed. I'll find her. We'll bring her back to that little settlement. Then I guess I can hire that Jasper fella with a speedboat to bring us down the canal.
Well, then, as I get it, Zeb, after we drop you, we come back here and wait for you to bring Anne back. Is that it?
And that's right, Art. And once we get all of us together, maybe we can find some way to get to Africa.
Well, first let's see about that chute. Oh, yeah, here it is. Now, Zeb, we better get you into it before we start the motors.
Get into it?
Yes, I'm afraid you'll really have to get into one of those things, Zeb.
Okay. I reckon I ain't as young as I used to be. That strap ought to go over there, right there. And this one? There, that's it. Yeah, say, I must have got this thing on upside down. I thought it ought to fit right over my shoulder blades. Instead of that, it hangs down like a kind of an in-gate on a wagon.
That's all right, Zeb. Now, when you get ready to jump...
You mean I've got to stand up all the way to wherever it is we're heading for?
Have to stand... Oh, I see what you mean. No. You just sit right down on the chute just like it was a cushion. That's the way they're built. Well, when you get ready to jump, all you have to do is to fall out face forward and then count 10. And pull this ring. And I mean really pull it.
And don't worry about me pulling that when I kind of want to put on the brakes. Only thing is, I might want to sort of slow up a little while I count.
D12 calling Morrison. D12 calling Morrison.
The radio again. Maybe Jack sent something about Anne.
Morrison answering D12. Come in, D12.
Interstate transmitter switched from our wavelength to lower band. They called TS and said they were taking off in half an hour.
A half hour? If Anne can stay in hiding that long...
Did you check reply, D12?
No reply as yet, but we're waiting with 4 receivers tuned to frequency to get location through cross-check.
Fine. We're taking off now to see if we can locate Miss Burton. She's probably around hangar. If transport is left, we might take a chance on using their runway. Signing off.
We'll wait for your call. Good luck, Morrison. Signing off.
But suppose that Anne is still somewhere on the transport. What can we do then?
Well, that's just one of the chances we'll have to take. But I hardly think that she'll be able to hide until they take off without some of them seeing her.
Well, I think we'd better start. Every minute might count.
Okay. Here goes the motor.
I'm getting kind of anxious to get there myself. I just want to see if this here drawstring is really going to work.
Will Zeb make his way to the secret landing field in time to lead Anne to safety from her hiding place in the ship? Or will Anne be discovered by the two gangsters before the start is made? Time alone will tell, so don't miss the next nerve-tingling chapter of Anne of the Airlanes.
10 p.m. Eastern Wartime. Your dial is set at 660, WEAF, New York.
Rinso, R-I-N-S-O, Soapy Rich Rinso presents Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris.
Municipal Tower to Transcontinental Flight 17. Municipal Tower to Transcontinental Flight 17. Over.
That's us, Tom. Check it.
Check. Transcontinental Flight 17 at Municipal Tower.
Flight 17 to Municipal Power. Over.
Police instructions. Check and see if you have male passenger occupying seat 24. Passenger occupying seat 24, wanted by police. Over.
I'm just checking my list, Joe. Yep, we got a man in 24. I'll tell him. Municipal Tower. We have a man in seat 24. The name he's traveling under is John J. Jones.
John J. Jones. Maybe that's his right name, but the police want him. They know him as Boston Blackie.
Maybe you've met Boston Blackie before on your local movie screen. In case some of you haven't, I think you'll soon be fast friends of his. And maybe you've already tried new Soapy Rich Rinso, too. In which case, you don't need me to tell you how good it is. But if you aren't using Rinso now, I can't think of a better time for you to start. Now when summer is here, you certainly don't want to spend hours on wash day scrubbing and boiling clothes. Well, just keep in mind that Rinso gets out the dirt without hard scrubbing or boiling. A short soaking in Rinso's lively suds, a few quick finger rubs, and you'll be ready to hang out a Rinso whitewash. Try this on your clothesline and see if you don't start whistling while you wash. And now, meet Boston Blackie. Outside the law is no strange territory to Blackie, but never does he stray for personal reward, although the police, and notably Inspector Faraday, find no solace in his motives, and only bewilderment in his ability to remain out of their reach. Meet Chester Morris as Boston Blackie, enemy to those who make him an enemy, friend to those who have no friend.
You Chicago police have been very cooperative. Thanks a million.
Glad to help you, Inspector Faraday. When we send a man to New York, you can return the favor.
Glad to. Anytime, Captain.
There's the plane now, Inspector. See it? Blackie has got to be on it. We know he was on the plane when it left Detroit, and it hasn't made any stops.
Well, Blackie's liable to get out of anything, anytime. I remember once I had him in 2 sets of handcuffs, and the next minute...
No handcuffs.
No, Blackie. Chances are I couldn't have made the charge stick anyhow. Never have been able to tie anything on him in 6 years.
You'll be able to arrest him now, won't you, Inspector?
You're sure Blackie's the man, are you, Miss Moray?
Oh, of course I'm sure. I was with my grandfather when he was robbed and the money stolen. The thief wore no mask, and I recognized him from the picture of Boston Blackie that was in the paper last year. Oh, I'm sure it was Blackie.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you keep asking me if I'm sure?
I just wanted to be certain, that's all. I've been waiting to get a witness to make a positive identification for a long time.
Oh, here comes the plane now. Do you think he'll have the money with him? I can't wait until I get my hands on it.
There's lots of money in this world, Miss Moray. What I can't wait to get my hands on is Boston Blackie. Go ahead in, Miss Moray. I've been keeping Blackie in my hotel room here until our plane leaves for New York. Talk to him yourself. I can't get anything out of him. Go ahead now. Monahan's in there guarding him, and I'll be right here outside the door.
All right, Inspector Faraday.
Blackie always was a soft touch for a girl. Here's hoping you get something out of him.
Oh, Inspector, you'll never know how important it is to me that I do. Hello?
He won't say a word, miss. Just sits there like he did all the time the inspector was questioning him.
Oh, I'll try. Blackie? Boston Blackie, would you talk to me?
About business or pleasure?
Maybe a little of both. Detective Monahan, could Mr. Blackie and I go over in the corner and talk?
Oh, sure. I don't know why not. I'll stroll over to the window.
Would you please come over here with me, Blackie?
Why, sure. I've been waiting for a chance like this to have a little chat with you, Miss Moray. You identified me as the man who stole $10,000 from your grandfather.
Yes, I did.
You know, you never saw me before in your life, Miss Moray.
I wish I had. Then I wouldn't be in such desperate trouble now.
You're in trouble. You had me arrested because you're in trouble? What is this, a new switch on the Share the Wealth plan?
Oh, please let me explain. From what I've heard of you, Blackie, you're the only man living who can help me. But I had no idea of where or how I could reach you.
Oh, so you made up the story of my stealing your grandfather's money, huh?
Yes, I did. I knew the police could trace your movements where I couldn't. And I knew you could get away from Inspector Faraday once I'd seen you.
Well, thanks for the confidence.
The very worst, I could have said I was mistaken in the identification, and then they would have had to let you go. Only by then it would be too late.
Say, look, let's get organized. Too late for what?
To recover the diamond that was stolen from me.
You've got the wrong boy, lady. If a diamond was stolen from you, let the police get it back. They're in that business.
But that diamond, Blackie, the rest of my life depends on it. I must have it back by tomorrow night. Oh, please, please help me.
Well, with these handcuffs on and 2 New York detectives guarding me, I couldn't be of very much help to anybody.
But those handcuffs, haven't I heard that you can get out of them whenever you want to?
Yes, but I've got to want to first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm more than sorry. I'm miserable. I knew I had to reach you, and I just messed up everything. No, I'll never...
Oh, wait a minute, Miss Morey. We'll figure some way out. Here, wipe your eyes with this handkerchief.
Thanks. But your hand. You got it on the handcuff. Shh.
Okay, now. There, your eyes are nice and dry. Now blow. You feel better now?
Yes, I do.
All right, then. Let me have your bad time story.
I don't know how I can laugh.
Oh, it's easy. You just open your mouth and close your eyes and think of Inspector Faraday. Never fails. Come on, Miss Morey. Tell me the whole story before Faraday gets restless.
Well, I'm engaged to George Atwater.
Yes?
We're to be married soon, and yesterday he brought me something to look at. The Jonathan diamond.
The Jonathan, huh? Oh, that's worth a fortune.
Well, George's father has millions.
Hey, Miss Beret, you all right over there?
Oh, yes, officer, thank you. I won't be a minute now. Blackie, the diamond belonged to George's father. George brought it over to show me, and then he had a little too much to drink, and I thought it safer if he left it with me. He agreed. And sometime during the night, it must have been stolen from my apartment.
I get it. If you don't produce the diamond, it'll be a mess. The police don't know anything about the diamond?
No. That's why I made up the story about my grandfather and the stolen money.
Well, when do you have to produce the Jonathan, Miss Morey?
Tomorrow night. George gets back from a trip then. He'll want it and... Oh, Blackie.
Tomorrow night? Well, it doesn't give me much time to work, but I'll try. Call the detective over here.
All right, but why?
Shh, don't ask questions. Just get him over.
All right. Officer, would you come over here a minute, please?
Sure, Miss Fletcher. Well, did he tell you anything?
No, but I've got something to tell you, Monahan.
Indeed, and what's that?
This.
You shouldn't have done that, Blackie. You shouldn't have hit the officer.
You sure would have disappointed me if you hadn't said that. Now, listen. I'm going out the window and down the fire escape. As soon as I get moving, you scream for Faraday. Tell him what happened, that I socked Monahan and put the handcuffs on you. Here, I'd better do that now. Faraday's got the key. He'll open them later. There. Now, remember, you finally worked this handkerchief from around your mouth and screamed. Have you got that?
Yes. Oh, Blackie, please remember that getting back that diamond means my marriage and my whole life's happiness.
Okay. Well, I'm going to New York, and I'll do my best. If I get back the diamond, you get married. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if instead of Boston Blackie, from now on I'm known as Chicago Cupid. Shorty, listen. When a piece of ice like the Jonathan diamond is lifted, somebody's got to know something about it.
Look, Blackie, I've been out all night on it. Nobody knows nothing. All I could pick up was that a fella named Atwater owns it. None of the boys would touch it. That is, except Duke Walton. I'm telling you, it's as hot as a pistol, but Duke's been bragging that he'll grab it one of these days.
Yeah? Well, where can I find him?
Well, I checked that, too. He's out of town. That's definite. Yeah, he's been gone a week. Now, look, boss, why don't you lay off?
Shorty, I promised to get that diamond back. I chartered a plane out of Chicago last night after breaking out of that hotel room. Young Atwater isn't due back in town till tonight, so I still have a little time. I'm going to waste some of it on a visit to the Atwater house.
Ain't you a little out of your class up there, Blackie? You know they got an awful lot of dough, those Atwaters.
You know something, Shorty? After the way that Morey girl smiled at me in Chicago, I kind of feel like $1 million myself.
Yes, sir?
I'd like to see Mr. Atwater.
Who shall I say is calling, please?
Mr. Jones, Mr. John J. Jones. Mr. Atwater doesn't know me, but you can say it's about his son.
About Mr. George Atwater, Jr.?
That's right.
He's in, sir. Would you like to see him?
George is in? Well, I certainly would like to see him. When did he get back?
A little while ago, sir. He returned earlier than we expected. Come this way. He's in the library, right here. Shall I announce you?
No, thanks. I'll go right in.
Very good, sir.
Hello there. Mr. Atwater?
Yes, I'm George Atwater. Who are you?
Oh, my name is Jones, Mr. Atwater. John J. Jones. I'm a friend of your fiancée's.
Oh, a friend of Lee's?
That's right. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, the night before last, when you left Miss Moray, you were a little,
Oh, what do you mean a little? I was a lot.
Well, I don't mean to be personal, but did you stop off anywhere on your way home?
No, I got a cab and came right home.
Mr. Atwater, where do you usually keep the Jonathan Diamond?
I don't know what you're driving at, Mr. Jones, but, well, we keep it here in the library, in this wall safe. Only it's not here now.
Would you open the safe for me, please?
Well, now, Mr. Jones, you're a perfect stranger to me, even though you are a friend of Miss Moray's. Well, you could hardly expect... Oh. So, this is a holdup, huh?
I'm sorry I had to pull this gun on you, Mr. Atwater, but I want to see that safe. You don't mind if I lock the library door, do you?
I do mind, but I don't suppose that matters.
Not a bit. There we are. So the Jonathan was kept in this safe, huh? The combination, Mr. Atwater, and keep your hands where I can see them.
Sorry, Mr. Jones. I seem to have forgotten the combination.
Well, I haven't time to make you remember it. Oh, the safe doesn't look too tough. Come over here where I can watch you while I go to work on it.
All right. There's nothing inside the safe, but go ahead and open
Quiet.
it.
Take that watch off your wrist and put it in your pocket. It's making too much noise. I can't hear the tumblers drop. Come on, take it off.
All right.
I think I've got the first number. Now for the second one. This box of yours is pretty simple, Mr. Atwater. In fact, it's about the most unsafe safe I ever saw. There, that's the second number, all right? Do you want to be a good boy and tell me the last number? No? Okay, be a bad boy and watch me find it out for myself. There. Now, that ought to do it. I'll try the handle now. Well, made it.
My compliments.
Save them. Let's take a look in this jewelry box. Oh, so the Jonathan Diamond wasn't in the safe, huh? Well, what's this, then?
That's the Jonathan, all right. I meant to leave it at Miss Moray's apartment, but I changed my mind.
Open this door! Open it up! Open the door, Mr. Atwater! We're the police. Open up!
Faraday, he must have had Shorty watched and trail me here.
You don't mind if I close this safe door, do you, Mr. Jones? I want you to be caught with that diamond still in your hand. Well, this seems to be my day for unexpected visitors.
Now, keep away from that door, Atwater.
You don't scare me. I'm going to open it. I'm coming.
I'm going.
You'll have to hurry. He's going through the window. Quick. He's got the Jonathan Diamond. He must still be in the garden.
I've got 2 men out there. Maybe I can spot him from here. Come on, Monahan. Blackie! Blackie, stop! Shoot, we've got him!
And he's got the Jonathan Diamond.
At last. Boston Blackie caught red-handed.
Well, it does look as though Blackie is in for it now, but I have a hunch there's still plenty of action coming up. And shifting from Blackie to Whitey, that is Rinso White, I'd like to tell you about a completely different kind of action, the kind you get with Rinso suds in your washer. Yes, those Rinso suds are so peppy and lively they get your clothes sparkling white and bright with as little as a 5-minute run per load. And when I say sparkling white, of course I really mean exactly, Rinso White. And there's no better way than that whistle to describe the special kind of white Rinso gets your clothes. That's because Rinso gets out more dirt. Simple, isn't it? No wonder Rinso is the only soap recommended by the makers of 33 leading washers. And, of course, a short run is not only easy on your washer, it's easy on your clothes. Keeps them new-looking longer. So next wash day, do yourself a big favor. Whistle up a Rinso White, Rinso Bright wash. And now, back to the adventures of Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris.
How do you like ourselves, Blackie? Air conditioning between the bars and everything. Comfortable enough for you?
Oh, sure, this one's wonderful. I wish you'd try sleeping on that mattress they have in here. I gave up in the middle of the night and slept on the stone floor. It was softer. Oh, come on, Faraday. How about a couple of pillows?
Oh, poor Blackie. Too bad I didn't hear you. I've suddenly gotten very deaf. Isn't that terrible?
You've suddenly gotten very deaf, and you've always been very dumb.
Oh, very funny, Blackie.
Yes, I know. New gag writer.
Last one have to go back to kindergarten?
Yes, and he told me how much all the other children miss you since you stopped going, Faraday.
Blackie, we had to grab you on that Morey girl's charge.
All right, so you grabbed me.
That $10,000 stick-up, Blackie. That isn't important now. We'll talk about that later. But where's the Jonathan Diamond?
Jonathan Diamond? What's that?
Listen, Blackie, you've had that diamond in your hand. Now, you had it when we broke in. Atwater saw it there. Where is it now?
Now, you listen, Faraday. You've got to get me out of here in a couple of hours. You haven't a thing to hold me on.
No, breaking into the Atwater house.
I broke out of the house, not into it. Now, see if that's a crime, Inspector.
You opened the safe in the library and you stole the Jonathan diamond. How about that?
You sure I did? Does that safe look forced? Did you find the diamond on me?
No to all those things. But we've got George Atwater as a witness.
A witness to what? I was calling on him at the suggestion of a mutual friend, Inspector. We were having a chat when somebody started to pound on the door. I got scared and jumped through the window. You know, things like that happen, Inspector. People get scared and they jump.
Blackie, I'm telling you this man to man, we've got a case against you. Atwater's word against yours that you robbed his safe. And slugging Monahan in Chicago. The Moray girl's testimony that you robbed a grandfather. That'll add up to 10 years at least.
Go ahead, Inspector.
All right, I'll be honest, Blackie. Young Atwater screaming about his diamond. Says you had it 1 minute, we grabbed you the next minute, so it can't be missing. Only it is. All right, you tell us where you hid it, and I'll get him to drop all charges. I'll even talk to the Moray girl to get her to go easy if you return her dough. Now, how's that?
I don't know.
Oh, you must have it stashed somewhere. Give me your word of honor to deliver it back to me today, and I'll let you out. Your word's always been good with me, Blackie. Now, come on. Don't you want to get out of jail?
Well, I don't know now, Faraday. It's kind of a nice jail. You know, air conditioning between the bars.
Blackie, be a good guy.
Okay, Faraday. As a favor to you, I'll come out. And you'll have your diamond back 2 hours after I leave here. But I'm not to be bothered during that time by the cops. You understand?
Bothered? You'll be protected. And thanks a million, Blackie.
That's all right, Faraday. I'll get plenty of satisfaction every time I remember you begging me to get out of jail.
Hello?
Miss Moray, this is Blackie. Can you talk?
Oh, yes, of course. Nobody's here. Did you...
Did I get the diamond? Well, yes and no, Miss Moray. Nobody ever stole it from your apartment.
What?
Atwater says he took it with him when he left you the other night.
But that's impossible. He didn't. I know he didn't. I even looked at it after he left.
Well, Miss Moray, will you meet me by the shrubbery alongside the library window of the Atwater house in exactly a half an hour?
Well, all right, but what are we going to do?
We're going to rob a safe, Miss Moray, with police protection. Keep that flashlight steady, Miss Moray, please. If we're lucky, the safe won't be locked.
Why not?
Because nobody knows I put the diamond back in it when the police pounded on the door. And it was only slammed shut by young Atwater. Well, here it is. There, you see? It was open. And here's the box that holds the Jonathan diamond. Put your flashlight on it. We'll take a quick look.
All right, there. But, the box is empty.
Uh-oh. Atwater must have seen me put it back and grabbed it. But why is he telling the police that I have it?
And see that I'm not disturbed.
Quick, that's Atwater now. Put out that flash and get back of these drapes. Hurry.
All right.
7, 6, 9.
What are you doing, Black?
I'm counting the clicks on the dial. 7, 3, 4, 2. Got it.
Hello. This is George Atwater. I got your message, but why did you call me here after I... Well, I don't care about that. We made a deal. I don't owe you a dime anymore, and you got what you wanted. Well, you have to expect it to be hot for a while. And look, remember this. I'm washed up with you and that crooked roulette wheel of yours. We're all square. And if you call me here again, I'll turn you over to the police. Yes. If I hear of anybody who wants to buy it, I'll let you know. You'll what? Don't be foolish. Who'd believe that? Goodbye.
I think I understand everything now, Miss Moray, but I've got to find the man Atwater just called.
How can you? He didn't mention any names.
No, but I counted the clicks as he was dialing that number. If my ears haven't let me down, I can call that number, too. Anyhow, I'm going to try.
You think that man has a Jonathan diamond?
Yes, I think so. But you don't have to worry about it from now on. You won't be blamed because it was missing from your apartment.
But you're in a mess now, aren't you?
Well, yes, kind of. You see, I promised Faraday that he'd have his diamond back in 2 hours, and I can't keep that promise. Well, I hope the OPA hasn't put a ceiling on tempers, because if they have, he'll hit it.
Hello? Police headquarters.
Inspector Faraday, please.
Just a minute.
Faraday speaking.
This is Blackie, Faraday.
Your time's up, Blackie. Have you got the Jonathan diamond?
Well, no, Inspector, I haven't.
You're stalling. Now, Blackie, you've crossed me for the last time. I'm going to have a dragnet out that'll have you down here before you know it, and you're going to stay in jail this time.
Yeah, but, Inspector, listen. He wouldn't listen, Shorty. I've got to work extra fast now.
Gee, Blackie, look, if there's anything
Hold
I
it,
can
Shorty. I'm going to try that number Atwater called.
Hello?
Hello, Atwater told me to call you.
Yeah? Who's this?
I've got cash I'd like to trade in for something you've got. Atwater says that...
Atwater says, huh? Okay. I'm in an old house, 632 West 100th Street. First door on the right as you come in. Get here fast and we'll talk business.
Okay, bye.
Worked, eh, Blackie?
I don't know. It was a little too easy. Come on, Shorty. We're going up there to get Faraday his diamond. Unless his dragnet gets me first.
Blackie, duck down. Duck down this hallway.
Okay, what is it, Shorty?
Prowl car just coming this way. I never saw so many cops as we pass on the way up here.
Never mind, Shorty. Stay flattened out against this door until it's time for what I told you to do.
Yeah, okay, Blackie. But who really stole the Jonathan diamond?
Nobody stole it, Shorty. Atwater left the stone at Lee Moray's apartment and then returned later that night and lifted it so that Miss Moray could report it stolen to the police.
Ixnay, boss. Coppers. Okay, now. Look, boss, why did Atwater want the Dane reported?
So he wouldn't be involved. This guy I called up, the one who lives in this building, has something on Atwater and wanted the diamond as his price for clamming up. Atwater had to get it for him, see?
Oh, yeah, I get it. He stashed it in his own safe until he could reach this guy and turn it over to him. Only you opened the safe before he could do it. And he had to figure out a new story, huh, boss?
Sure. All he had to tell the cops then is that he was afraid that Jonathan wouldn't be safe at the girl's apartment and that he went back in to get it.
Oh.
I thought it was pretty cute when I put the diamond back in the safe. But Atwater must have seen me. Well, wish me luck, Shorty. And don't forget what I told you to do.
Yeah. Okay, boss. Quick. Come on, it's okay now.
So long.
Yeah? Who is it?
I called you a little while ago.
Okay.
Open up.
Okay.
Well, Duke Walton. Put that gun down, Duke. You and I can make a deal.
Think so?
Sure.
Lucky you're not as cute as you thought. I called Atwater back and found your call was a phony. Too bad for you. Now I gotta bump you.
Wait a minute, Duke.
I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, Blackie. Some friends of mine are coming over with a car to take you on a little trip. Now sit down in that chair and put your arms behind your back. Go on, I ain't the patient type.
Okay, Duke. How's that?
That's better. Now I'm gonna tie you up nice and pretty like that. How do you like it? Too tight for your pretty hands to be tied?
Well, yes, if you really want to know.
I don't. I'll give it an extra yank just to make sure.
Hey, Duke.
Huh?
Duke, look under the door.
Huh?
That's smoke.
Where? Hey, that's right. Well, that makes things easier. This joint's a fire trap. I'll scram out of here and leave you tied up, Blackie. Blackie, I guess I was just born under a lucky star, eh?
Maybe. But don't forget, Duke, sometimes stars have a habit of falling.
Yeah, okay, so I'm ducking right out of here.
Fire! The whole building's on fire! Come on, get out of here!
That does it. So long, Blackie. Me and the Jonathan Diamond are getting out of here, and both of us are nice and safe, which is more than I can say for you, pal.
Wait a minute, Duke. I've got a proposition.
Sure, but I got a date. No use trying to bust them ropes, boy. Maybe the fire will burn them through for you, huh? Hey, you did it. How'd you get out of them ropes? Never mind, ain't gonna do you any good.
Oh, yes, it is, Duke. This place is on fire. Go on, try and get out.
I don't have to try, I'm getting.
Take a look at the door, Duke. It's locked.
Sure, it's locked, and I'm gonna open it right now. Hey, where'd the key go to?
I've got it, Duke, right here. I locked the door and removed the key when I had my back to the door after you got the drop on me.
Come on, give it to me. We'll both be burned to death.
Sure, Duke. Here it is. Catch.
Hey, don't throw it like... Hey, where'd it go? I gotta get it.
Sure, you're gonna get it, but good. You missed me, sucker.
I'll sucker you. I'll get you for this, Blackie, if it's takes a million. Hey, you're breaking my wrist.
Drop that gun. Okay. Now, where's the diamond?
Never mind the diamond, Blackie. The fire will both be trapped.
Well, there's no fire, sucker.
Huh?
My pal Shorty burned some papers in the hall and pounded on the door.
But
Now, give her that diamond. You must have it on you. When you thought there was a fire, you'd have never left without it.
I ain't got it, Blackie. When I found your phone call was a phony, I give it to a guy to hold for
You're
me.
lying, Duke. I'm going to search you. Now, turn around with your back to me and keep your hands in the air.
Yeah, okay, but I tell you, I ain't got it on me.
Well, we'll see. It's not here. Not here. It's not here.
Yeah.
It's me, boss. Everything all right?
Okay, Shorty, I'll let you in. Wait till I pick up the key. Now, don't move, you.
Well, it worked, huh, boss?
Yeah, it worked, but do you recognize this guy, Shorty?
Sure. That's Duke Walton, the guy I was telling you about. It was bragged he'd have the Jonathan Diamond.
Well, he hasn't got it. I've searched him. He's clean, Shorty.
He's holding out, the dirty heel.
Yes, the dirty... Heel? Heel, huh? You know, Shorty, I think I've got something there. It's the one place I didn't look. Take off your shoes, Duke. Come on, take them off.
You win, Blackie. The ice is in my right shoe. There's a slide in the heel. The diamond's inside.
Now, that's being very sensible, Duke. I'll just take the diamond out of that slot it's in and at the same time pull myself and Inspector Faraday out of a great big hole. Well, it's bargain day, Faraday. You've got your diamond, and I've got Miss Morey. Right, honey?
Well, for a while, Blackie. Then I've got to go back home to Wisconsin.
Oh, well, can we go now, Inspector?
Okay, Blackie. Go ahead. Beat it. You're in the clear. Only remember this. You make one slip, Blackie, and as sure as my name is Faraday, I'll be on your neck.
You'll be on my neck, huh? Okay, Inspector, but before Miss Morey leaves for Wisconsin, I hope I'll have her there for a little while first.
Oh, say, one more thing about Rinso. That same Rinso that's such a big help on wash day. I'd just like to add that it's also a mighty big help 3 times every day at dishwashing time. Even your greasiest roaster is a cinch to wash in those rich Rinso suds. And, of course, Rinso's grand for all the soap and water jobs around the house. Walls, floors, woodwork, windows, tiles. They all come sparkling bright and clean with Rinso on the job. So get Rinso tomorrow for dishwashing, for housework, and for a wash that's... And now a glimpse at next week's adventure of Boston Blackie.
I won't do it, I tell you. I can't do it.
Mr. Manletter, it's the only way your business can be saved.
I don't care about that. If the only way it can be saved is by risking the life of my friend Boston Blackie, well, I'd rather it were lost. I won't ask Blackie to keep that appointment. I don't even want to know about it.
All right, Mr. Manletter, if that's the way you want it.
I'm going out and try to raise the money. You'll hear from me later, and remember, I don't want Blackie to hear about this.
Hello, Mary. Get me Boston Blackie.
Be sure to listen at this same time next week for another exciting adventure with Boston Blackie, starring Chester Morris with Richard Lane as Inspector Faraday. You can see Chester Morris as Boston Blackie on the screen at your favorite movie theater. Boston Blackie's latest Columbia picture is One Mysterious Night, soon to be released. Original music for this program by Charles Cornell. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Rinso and wishing you all a very pleasant good night.
And don't forget, tomorrow, when you ask your grocer for the new Rinso, buy a cake of Lifebuoy at the same time. Lifebuoy's rich, purifying lather goes right after dirt and perspiration, leaves you feeling extra clean. So use Lifebuoy daily in your bath or shower. Remember, it's the only soap specially made to stop B.O.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
If at first you didn't succeed, there's always a second chance. The National Broadcasting Company welcomes you to the quiz show that takes nerve, a program for people who are willing to take a second chance. He proves that opportunity can knock twice. Johnny Olson.
Thank you very, very much, Fred Collins, and hi there, everybody. Nice to be with you on NBC. And you know, folks, few of us are able to succeed the very first time up at bat. But it's the person who has the nerve and courage to try again in the face of tough breaks and big odds who gets everybody's respect. especially ours, because it's just this type of person that we've selected out of our audience. People who have failed at some important thing in their lives and have come right back, the sort of people we want to put Collins, who's going to be our very, very first contestant on our very, very first show.
Johnny, I'd like you to meet Jack Milam from Fabens, Texas.
Welcome to Second Chance, Jack. Jack Milam, how are you, Jack?
Hi, Johnny.
Jack, what would you do if you had your second chance?
Well, if I had a second chance, I think I'd go back to Texas and marry a little gal. There.
Well, you'd marry a little gal there? Yeah. Is it a gal that you would propose to?
Yeah, I proposed to her, and she accepted, but I run out.
You run out? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Jack Milam from Fabens, Texas. You ran out on her, eh?
Yeah, I run out.
Well, now, you better tell us exactly what happened. I'm sure that there are many gals here from Texas who would like to know what happened.
This gal I was going with, and we got to be real friendly, and I asked her to marry me, and, I could tell she was in love with me because...
Now, wait a minute. How could you tell that she was in love with you, Jack? Tell me how.
Well... She went to movies with me.
Yeah. Now, you mean just by going to movies with a girl, you can tell whether or not she's in love with you?
Well, we spoon.
You spoon. And, boy, that sure sounds like you were hooked, Jack, I'll tell you that. Huh? What happened after that?
Well, I asked her, after a while, I asked her if she'd marry me, and she said she would.
Yeah.
And... I was real excited about it, so I went down to the shop and I told the fellas, and they all congratulated me. And one of them said, boy, you're sure going to have a lot of bills.
One of the fellas said that in the garage?
Yeah. Another fella said, wait till that mortgage comes due, boy. and one of the fellas, he's got 3 kids, and he said, wait till those babies start coming around, boy, you're going to have to pay a fortune.
So you kind of lost your nerve then, is that right?
Yeah, that's what happened. I guess I just sort of got chicken and I run out.
Now, what have you been doing since you've been here in New York then?
About the same kind of work. I got a mechanic's job at an auto shop in Brooklyn. And I got thinking because, I'm kind of lonely and I don't know.
You're kind of lonely, eh, boy?
Yeah. And
the line forms to the right girls, And you still want the gal to marry you?
Yeah, and I'm going back to Texas. I'm going to propose again.
Well, you think she'll have you back, though?
Well, I hope so.
You sure you want to settle down? Remember the bills, the mortgage, the family, the babies?
I made up my mind. I want to ask her again.
How about it, audience? All right, here we go, Jack boy. Jack Milam, Fabens, Texas. Here's the first of 3 win or lose questions. They're worth $10 each. Now, you must answer correctly in order to stay in the game. You understand?
Sure.
Big smile on this boy, too. Yeah. About 6'2", real nice, handsome blue eyes. Suppose you went into a restaurant and ordered a Wiener Schnitzel. Did the animal that came from moo, grunt, or cackle? Come on, Jack. Which one now? Wiener Schnitzel.
I'll try moo.
Moo? You are right. You're absolutely right. Yes, a Wiener Schnitzel, as we all know, is a fancy name for veal cutlet. Well, all right, you've come up with the right answer. You got $10 up there on the board, as you can see. It's all lighted up. And here's where we test your nerve, Jack Milam. Here's where you can take your second chance, or you can let it go by. Now, answer this question correctly, and the $10 you've just won becomes $20, and also the value of your next 2 questions will jump to $20 each. But if you answer incorrectly, you're wiped out. If you pass up the question, you still stay in the game, but your money remains at $10, and so does the value of your next 2 questions. Now, your second chance question is about historic battles. Now, do you want to pass it? Or do you want to take a second chance? What do you want to do, Jack? It's up to you. You're going to take it? All right. One of the most historic sentences recorded in the history of the United States is this one, and I quote, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes." Now, during which battle was this statement made? Which
I know
one?
that one. That's a Battle of Bunker... Whoa.
The Battle of what? Come on now, let's have it.
I can't say it. Battle of Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill is right. Right you are for $20, Jack. That means your questions are now worth $20 each instead of the $10. And here's your next win or lose question. Answer correctly to stay in the game, or you go out with your $20. You're doing fine, Jack. A little warm in here, isn't it?
Sure.
All right, here we go. A ping pong ball is made of celluloid. A tennis ball is made of rubber. Tell us, what's a polo ball made of? A polo ball. Any idea? Come on now, we got to have the right answer on this.
Wood?
Wood is right. It's usually willow, and it's wood. You now have $40 lighted up there on the board, 20 and 20. And now on the second chance question, as you know, you can take a chance on doubling all your money on the board, or if you fail, losing it all. Now, I'm going to tell you what the category is, first of all, before you make up your mind, Jack. The category is the U.S. Treasury. Do you want to pass it, or do you want to take a second chance, Jack? Whichever one you want to do.
Pass.
You going to pass on this one?
Yeah,
all right,
pass.
you're at $40 so far. You had a chance there to double it, but you're still at $40. Now, here's your next win or lose question. Answer this correctly, and you get another $20. Added to that, you must answer correctly, though, to win your money. If not, you're out of the game with what you've won at this point. In the course of history, many people have achieved fame by making one outstanding trip or journey somewhere. Now, who made a famous trip from St. Louis to the Columbia River? Famous expedition. Who do you think it might be?
I think it was Lewis.
Yes?
The Lewis and Clark.
That's right, the Lewis and Clark expedition. You now have $60. Boy, you're doing a great job here, Jack. Congratulations so far. I guess
Thank
you were
you, Johnny.
kind of smart to lay out on that one at that, huh?
I don't know anything about the treasure, I'll tell you.
You will. After you get through here, there'll be 5 treasury men waiting for you. All right, now this is your final second chance question, Jack Milam. Answer this question correctly, and all the money on the board will double and become $120. How would you like that? Wouldn't that be nice? That's a beautiful board we have here, too. 20, 20, 20, 60, 120. Miss it, and all the money you've won goes down the drain all the way back to Fabin, Texas. Now, you can pass it and take your $60 and go home if you'd like to. Your category is U.S. political history. What do you want to do? Do you want to pass it, or do you want to take a second chance? Which do you want to do?
I'm going to try.
You're going to take a chance on it. All right, audience, let's give them a fair chance now. The system of political parties is as old as our government itself. Now, what's the name of the party to which George Washington belonged? The Federalists or the Whigs? Which one? $120 at stake here on second chance. $120. Come on, I'm going to have to call time, Jack. Which one? Federalists or the Whigs?
Federalists?
The Federalists is right! Congratulations to you. You have won $120, and good luck to you, Jack, on your second chance.
Johnny Olson meet Mr. Bill Allen of New York City, who through great misfortune was knocked down and was almost counted out until he took his second chance.
Thank you very, very much, Freddie. How old are you, Bill?
45.
45. Now, you wrote in your letter, Bill, that your second chance paid off in giving you a new lease on life. Now, would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, Johnny, about 3 years ago, I had a very good position in the advertising field.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a beautiful wife. I loved her very much. And 3 wonderful children. And then suddenly my wife passed on from cancer, and I don't know, the world turned upside down for me.
I was reading that in your letter, Bill, and it certainly must have been a great, terrible, terrible shock to you.
Well, Johnny, it was a shock. I mean, 1 minute she was there, next minute she was gone. And as I said, I wrapped the whole world around her, and, well, I found myself losing interest in everything, neglecting my children. I even thought it was time to call it quits for myself.
I noticed that in your letter, Bill, the fact that you used to take long walks at night and that you really...
That's right, Johnny. I went through my money, and spend it foolishly, including a great deal on the bottle, which you know what I mean.
Well, now, this undoubtedly affected your work, Bill.
It certainly did, Johnny. I began to make very serious mistakes. The result was that I had no job. And I found myself drifting from uptown to downtown.
That's another thing that impressed me here in your letter, Bill, that you finally wound up living in a very meager neighborhood in a dirty flop house, as you put it here.
Right in the Bowery, in the heart of the Bowery. And it was an experience that I shall never forget, I suppose.
Now, just how recent has it been since you started getting back on your feet again?
Well, friends who had my children, I meant to tell you that, Johnny, they had taken my children and were looking after them.
Mm-hmm.
They thought if they were back with me again, I would make a comeback. So we got a little apartment. And the children and I moved in. However, they began to look after me more than I looked after them.
Would you mind telling us how old your children are, Bill?
Yes, I have two boys, 14, 9 years of age, and a girl, 12 years of age.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that impressed me here in your letter was about your oldest boy and what he said.
Billy, wonderful. Billy would always say, Dad, many times he said, you'll get that second chance. Don't worry, have faith. Well, there's a guard upstairs, he'll look after you.
Good for Billy. Well, now, when was it that you finally realized, Bill, that something had to be done?
Well, Johnny, they have a state law here. I suppose they have it in most states that parents neglect a child, the welfare steps in, and they take him away from him.
And that was just the shock that you needed, wasn't it?
It was a shock. More than that, my children were willing to go to help me. And then I thought, well, I need a second chance. Billy's always said I needed it, and I'm going to get it. And I made up my mind I was not only going to get it, I was going to make good at it, Johnny.
Well, now, when you finally took your second chance, what happened? I know you went out job seeking, as you mentioned in your letter.
Well, the word was out that Bill was on his way down, hands off. But I started out and I began to knock at doors, and as fast as they closed, I went to next door. Kept going from one agency to the other, and one day I wandered in to the Marks Aiken Advertising Agency in Manhattan. They didn't know me from Adam. In fact, they've only been in business a little over a year. And I stated my case. I said I wanted a second chance. Give me a second chance, I'll make good.
And they did give you that second chance, and you certainly have made good, Bill, haven't you?
I have. Incidentally, Johnny, they wrote me out a blank check, and I went out and got myself clothing and got busy, and I brought in 2 accounts so far, and more coming.
Well, good for you. You know, Bill, when our loved ones pass away, it's always a great shock and a terrible, terrible loss. I would shudder to think what would happen to me if my $1 million penny were to pass away or anything like that. In your case, it almost ruined your life, but you did have the courage, finally, to face your obligations to your 3 children by taking your second chance at pulling yourself together and once again taking over the duties and the responsibilities of a father. And we want to wish you nothing but the best of luck, and God bless you. And now, Bill, to our other microphone and to our second chance game right here. And, Bill, first of all, we have 3 win or lose questions for you. Here's the first of the 3. It's worth $10. Now, when Columbus sailed the ocean blue in the year of 1492, he had 3 ships. Now, see if you can name one of them. Come on now, I want you to get the Santa Maria's one, the Nina, and the Pinta. We've got $10 on our second chance board. Now, here's where we test your nerve on your first second chance question. The subject matter here deals with the science physics. Are you going to take a second chance? You're going to pass it by.
No, Johnny, that is a subject I don't know. I hesitate on that. I'd rather...
You're going to pass it by. Well, all right. You still have your $10. You're still in the game, and here's your next win or lose question. An often quoted poem about America's favorite sport has to do with Mudville's favorite baseball player. He struck out. What was his name? He also had a cousin by the name of Jones. That's right. Well, you bet yourself $20 now, Bill, and here's your next second chance question. Now, remember, when in doubt, pass it by. The subject matter here is trademarks. You're going to take a second chance, or you're going to pass it by?
I'm an advertising man. I should know trademarks. I'll take a gamble on it.
All right, then tell us. 3 golden balls on the coat of arms of the Medici family of Florence, Italy, have now become the trademark of what profession?
Pawnbrokers. I know them.
Oh, good for you, boy. You've got $40 now, Bill. And here's your next win or lose question. Iraq's capital city is so old, it's legendary. Now, what is the capital of Iraq? Of Iraq. Any idea, though?
I don't know, Johnny.
Oh, I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I wanted you to come through with the right answer on that to make some more money. The answer is Baghdad, Bill, but you've done all right. You've got $40 here, and our best wishes, and good luck to you. Friends, every week we award a $100 United States savings bond to the person whose second chance letter is chosen by our judges to be read on the air. So keep writing those letters. Judges reserve the right to edit all winning letters, so why don't you sit down and write your second chance story to the Second Chance program, care of the National Broadcasting Company, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York City, New York, and win a $100 United States savings bond. And now, this is Johnny Olson saying thanks for joining us transcribed, inviting you to be with us tomorrow when once again we try to prove that opportunity can knock twice on the Second Chance program. Goodbye, everybody.
This has been an NBC Radio Network production.
Jerry at Fair Oaks.
Yeah, a nice town, isn't it?
Hey, Bumps, Mr. Randall, look.
Oh, what is it, Jerry?
That bus over there.
Where, Jerry?
That big blue bus right there in front of the station. See the big gold letters? It says Fair Oaks Military Academy.
Oh, well, sure enough. And here comes a cadet. He just got out of it.
Say, that's pretty nice.
That's a mighty fine-looking young man in that uniform.
Hey, he's coming this way.
Yeah.
How do you do, gentlemen?
How do you do, young man?
Hello.
Are you Mr. Dugan?
Jerry.
You're Mr. Dugan, aren't you?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah.
I'm Cadet Phillips of Fair Oaks Military Academy. I've come down to get you. The school bus is right over here. If you'll just come with me, please.
Yes, sir.
Can you manage with your bags all right?
Oh, yes, thank you. We're all right. You just lead the way.
Say, he's snappy, isn't he?
Yeah, a real cadet. Yes, sir. Makes me happy to think that Jerry will look like that soon.
They're sure keen-looking uniforms, aren't they?
You bet they are.
Here we are. Just step right in.
Yeah, well, just go right ahead, Jerry.
Come on, Ray.
Now, if you'll sit over here on the right, I'll try to point out some of the things of interest on our way to the campus.
Ah, fine, thanks. Here. Sit right here, Jerry.
Okay.
All set, Kirk, but take it slow going back.
Okay, Phillips.
Now, as soon as we make this turn... here we are, right here. This is Fair Oaks Avenue, gentlemen. This is the main street of Fair Oaks and runs from the campus to the station.
Oh, it's a pretty little town.
Yes, sir, it is. Now, right here on this corner is the City Hall and Courthouse.
Nice buildings.
And across the street, there in the middle of the block, is our new post office. It was just completed a few months ago.
Sure, that'd be a credit to any town. That's a fine-looking post office.
Yes, there's some fine-looking stores along here, too.
And if you'll notice this market on the next corner, the large one on the right.
Central Market. Hey, it is a big one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The owner of that market was of the first graduating class at FMA.
FMA?
Fair Oaks Military Academy.
Oh.
You'll have to get used to that, Jerry.
I hope this isn't too much like a sightseeing tour.
Oh, no, I should say not, son. This is all very interesting.
When we get to this next corner, if you'll look right down to the end of the street, you'll see the Opera House. It's one of the oldest buildings around here. There it is, see it?
Oh,
yes, big one, too. Is it used anymore?
Yes, sir, once in a while. They have concerts there occasionally, and sometimes a traveling show comes through and plays there. Now, this gray building in the middle of the block, this is the public library.
Hey, is that the school right ahead?
Yes, you can see the archways now.
Oh, yes.
The big center arch is for automobiles, and the two smaller arches on either side are for pedestrians. But that doesn't mean you, Mr. Dugan, or me either.
Yeah, but we're pedestrians.
But we're also plebes.
Plebes? What's that?
Well, until you've finished your first year at FMA, you're called a plebe. That's another name for freshman. And we plebes don't have all the liberty an upperclassman enjoys. Now, the archway is only the first of many traditional customs you'll learn about. You won't be told about the archway again, so remember to use the driveway and not the walks on either side.
Well, look at that. It's a high brick wall.
Yes, sir. That wall runs all the way around the campus.
Bumps, just look at those big oak trees. Why, they're beautiful.
Yes, sir, they sure are, sir.
Fair Oaks is certainly a fitting name.
They're very old, sir.
Yeah, I can see that. And getting more beautiful with the years.
Excuse me, sir. This last building on the left, just before we enter the archway and get onto the campus.
Yes?
The last little store there, the one nearest the campus wall. That's a sort of hangout for the cadets during recreation periods.
Oh, it's an ice cream parlor.
That's right. But you can buy most anything there, from newspapers and magazines to shoe polish and soap.
Well, that's good to know.
An old Scotchman runs the place. His name's William McLeod. All the fellas think an awful lot of him. You'll like him too, Dugan. We're on the campus now. See, that's Custis Hall straight ahead, the administration building.
Oh, is that where Major Davis's office is?
That's right, sir. Well, here we are.
All right, go ahead, Jerry. You get out first.
Come on, Rags.
Well, isn't this nice?
Ah, you bet. What do you think of it, Jerry?
Oh, I like it. Isn't the air nice and fresh?
It's a whole lot different than the backyard at the circus, all right.
Shall I wait? Are you returning to the station soon?
Oh, say, that's right.
Yes, we're catching the limited.
Yeah, you'd better wait, Kirk.
All right, the bus will be here.
Might as well leave our luggage right in the bus, then.
Yeah, that's a ticket, sure.
Yes, your things will be safe there. Now, if you'll just come with me, please.
Say, just look at those big pillars.
Yes, sir, and all those steps.
I'm beginning to like it already.
Oh, you love it here at Fair Oaks, Jerry.
Yeah, there's something grand about this building, Bumps.
You know, Mr. Randall, I feel kind of important being able to go to this school.
That's the way to feel, Jerry.
Hey, wait.
What is it, Jerry?
Look, up there over the doorway. See that motto? Toil is the father of fame. Carved right into the stone.
You just think of that, Jerry. Those are true words.
That's great. Toil is the father of fame.
Oh, he's holding the door open for us. Come on.
Right through here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey, there's the school flag up on the wall there. Blue and gold. Hey, those are the colors the bus is painted.
Those are our school colors, Dugan. Blue and gold.
I sure like them. Don't you, Bumps?
Pretty, Jerry. Very pretty.
Excuse me. This is Major Davis's office.
Oh, yeah.
Cadet Phillips reporting, sir.
Have your party come in?
Yes, sir. Right this way, gentlemen.
Well, how do you do, Major Davis? I'm Mr. Randall.
I'm happy to know you, Mr. Randall.
This is Bumps, Major Davis, the head clown of my circus.
How do you do, sir?
I'm glad to meet you, Mr. Major Davis.
And this is Jerry Dugan, Major.
Well, young man, welcome to Fair Oaks. Won't you sit down, gentlemen?
Thank you, thanks.
That'll be all, Phillips. You might wait outside.
Yes, sir.
Rags, be quiet.
Well, a cute little fellow. Your dog, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Another member of the Randall Brothers Circus, Major.
Well, so you've been with the circus, is that right, Jerry?
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll just talk a little bit about you, and while we're talking, I'll be filling out these admittance papers. If you care to, Mr. Randall, you can glance over this in the meanwhile. Here you are, sir.
Thanks.
That's the tuition fee and other expenses.
Oh, yes.
Now then, what was your father's name, Jerry?
Timothy Dugan.
Do you have any living relatives?
Yes, sir. My uncle. His name is Uncle Dan. Daniel Dugan.
Uh-huh. And Mr. Randall is your legal guardian?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll just make you out a check for the whole amount, Major Davis. The tuition, uniforms, and his expense money.
Fine, Mr. Randall.
Well, I don't like to interrupt, but...
what is it, Bumps?
Well, our train, Sam. We haven't got a whole lot of time.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We want to catch that limited back, Major. I can't stay away from the circus too long.
Oh, no, that's too bad. Aren't you even going to look over the grounds and the building?
Well, I'd like to. Very much, in fact, but business is business, you know.
Well, perhaps you can come down here and pay Jerry a visit one of these days. By that time, he can take you around himself.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Now, let's see. You only have about 30 minutes before that train leaves. I'll make this as brief as possible. Perhaps you'd better fill this out yourself, Jerry. Pull your chair right up there to that desk.
All right.
Here's a pen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You'll find the questions easy to answer. But if you get stuck, just call for help.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's the check, Major, for the full amount.
Thank you, Mr. Randall. Now, it's the custom, unless otherwise specified, to allow first-year students $1.50 a week spending money.
No, fine. It's quite all right. Well, I think it's safe to say that Jerry will get along all right at Fair Oaks.
I'm sure of it. How are you making out, Jerry?
Okay. I'm almost finished. Just 2 more questions to answer.
Good. Now, your mailing address, Mr. Randall... Oh, excuse me. I see it's right here on your check.
Yeah.
In care of your winter quarters. Mail address to you there will reach you at all times?
That's right, Major.
There. All finished.
Oh, so soon? Oh, look here, Jerry. You didn't answer the questions on the back.
Huh? Oh, I didn't notice that. I'm sorry.
Well, just fill those blank spaces out at the top of the page. Captain Gardner will fill out the questions about your past school activity when you get into the classroom.
Say, this is quite a school you have here, Major.
Yes, we're mighty proud of Fair Oaks. You know, it's gratifying, Mr. Randall, to take in boys such as Jerry, and with a few years of training, education, and discipline, turn out men fully equipped to tackle life.
Yes, I can understand that, Major.
Now I finished it. Here, Major.
Well, that was quick, Jerry.
Now, how about Rags?
Rags?
My dog. Where's he going to stay?
Oh, I'm afraid, Jerry, we can't have your dog here at Fair Oaks.
But... Well, Mr. Randall...
I thought perhaps we could make some kind of arrangements for the dog, Major Davis. Rags means a powerful lot to Jerry.
I'm sorry, Mr. Randall, very sorry. But that's one of our most stringent rules. No cadet at Fair Oaks is allowed to have a pet. You can readily understand that if we allowed one student to have his pet with him at school, it would hardly be fair not to allow other students the same privilege.
Well, now, that's right.
Yeah, but I can't leave Rags. I just can't. We've been together so long.
Now, Jerry, let's look at it this way. Let's think of Rags. He's part of the circus, son. Why, he'd grieve his heart out if he couldn't do his act with Bumps every day and have the backyard to run around in. Well, you know how much Bumps cares for him. Yes, and Slats and Hooligan and all the other clowns. Why, his life is just perfect with the circus.
Boy, I love that dog, Jerry.
I know you do, Bumps.
Why, sure, and I'll take the best of care of him. And you can visit with him at winter quarters. And maybe we can come down here and bring him along to visit with you.
Why, sure. We'll take Rags back to the circus with us. Why, he'll be happy and well taken care of it. It should make you happy to know that, Jerry.
Gee, Rags.
Jerry?
Yes, sir?
What do you think of Cadet Phillips, the boy that met you at the train?
Oh, I like him. He's all right.
Do you think you'd get along with him?
I'm sure I would.
Well, Jerry, Lee is going to be your roommate.
Oh, swell.
Well, now, isn't that fine? Why, you couldn't have a better roommate, Jerry.
That's another tradition, Mr. Randall.
Huh?
As a rule, the boy that goes down to the train to meet the incoming student becomes the roommate of the new man.
Well, now, think of that,
I say, that's fine. Hey, say, we've got to get going, Bumps.
Oh, I'll say we do. We'll just about make that train.
Well, Jerry, I guess we'll say goodbye for now. You study real hard and don't let us down. Remember, all your circus friends are expecting big things of you.
I will, Mr. Randall.
And don't you worry for 1 minute about Rags here. Oh, and another thing. You be sure to write that.
Sure, Bumps. Well, goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Randall, and thanks for everything.
All right, Jerry.
Goodbye, Rags, old fella. You be a good dog, and I'll be thinking of you all the time.
Well, goodbye, Major. If there's anything further to take up with me, just drop me a line.
Yes, I'll do that. Goodbye, Mr. Randall.
Yeah.
And goodbye to you, sir.
Goodbye, Major. Come on, Rags.
Goodbye, Rags. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Jerry.
Goodbye. Goodbye to you.
So long.
Phillips.
Yes, sir?
Take Cadet Dugan to your room now. Get acquainted with him, and then see that he's outfitted in a fatigue uniform. I'll talk with you again later in the day, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Jerry.
Okay.
Countdown for blastoff. X minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, X minus 1. Fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X minus 1. Tonight's story, No Contact. It was in the year of 1982 that spacemen first discovered the Great Galactic Barrier. In the past 10 years, rocket travel to the moon and the nearer planets had become commonplace. And then men fixed their sights on a more distant star, the remote planet known as Volta. 5 exploratory ships went out, and none came back, each in turn disappearing mysteriously at the same vanishing point, at an invisible wall somewhere in the vast outer reaches that became known as the wrecker of spaceships, the Galactic Reef. And yet, the explorers refused to admit defeat. It was on June the 2nd, 1987, that the rocket Star Cloud made ready for takeoff, the 6th to attempt to crack the barrier and win through to Volta.
Now hear this. Condition green. 2 minutes to blast off. Condition green. 2 minutes to blast off.
Well, Lewis, this is it. I don't suppose you'll be needing the ship's doctor up here on the bridge during blastoff.
I think not, Smitty. There's little chance of acceleration bends in these new overdrive ships.
I'll be in my office then, counting vitamin pills if you need me. It's only a few steps. Good luck, Lewis.
Thank you, Smitty. Lieutenant Collier.
Yes, sir?
You're relieved. You'd better get down to navigation control and take over.
Yes, sir.
Lieutenant.
Yes, sir?
We've never flown together before. This is your first flight in a space vessel as big as the Star Cloud.
Yes, sir, but I was trained in oversized jobs at the Naval Academy.
Well, if you're half as good a navigator as your father was, you'll do fine.
Thank you, sir. Did you ship out with my father?
I served under him on one of the first rocket runs to the moon.
I see.
I almost went along on his last trip to the barrier. Too bad about that.
Yes, sir.
That's all, Collier.
Lieutenant Paulson.
Get me the ground control tower on the field. I want to talk to Colonel Harrison.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. I've patched in the bridge speaker.
Colonel Harrison?
Yes, Captain?
We're standing by for takeoff in 30 seconds.
Good. The field is cleared of all personnel. We'll try to reestablish radio contact immediately after takeoff. In any event, there'll be a 24-hour ground monitor.
Fine.
Good luck. Hope you make it.
Thank you. Bridge to navigation control.
Nav control, Collier.
Ready, Lieutenant?
We're ready, Captain. The course is in the integrator for takeoff at 1200 hours.
All right. Stand by for blastoff. Bridge to engine room. Fire up your rocket chambers. Take off at exactly 1200 hours. I'll read you off. 20 seconds. 19. 18. 17. 16. Hold it. Revoke all orders. Who turned in that alarm?
Paulson, sir. We've uncovered a stowaway.
Stowaway? Where?
Hiding in sickbay. Dr. Smithson found him.
Have him brought up to the bridge. Engine room, kill your rockets and stand by.
Thorson, this is Colonel Harrison in ground control. What's holding you up?
Trouble.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you? There's a stowaway aboard.
Stowaway?
Yes, I thought your men were supposed to police this base. What's the matter with you?
Captain, take it easy.
You know what this delay can do to us, don't you? 1 minute later takeoff can throw us a million miles off course. We'll have to reintegrate the whole works.
Well, look, how long do you think it'll take
Don't bother for me for a while. I'm busy. Stupid idiot.
Captain Clausen?
Yes, come in, Smitty.
Here's your stowaway.
I'll court-martial Oh, Charlie.
Can you use a good radio man, Skipper?
Well, I see you two have met.
Met. Skipper and me made 50 trips to the moon together. Didn't we, Skipper?
Charlie, if you wanted to come along, why didn't you volunteer?
I did, Skipper. They turned me down.
Well, what's wrong with you?
Acceleration bends. They said my arteries wouldn't stand another trip.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But they're wrong, Skipper. I got one more good trip in me. Listen, Skipper, you know that these green kids, they don't know the first thing about space radio operation. Now, you put a man like me on, and I'll be getting you bedtime stories from Mars.
Charlie, you know the regulations as well as I do. I can't take you much as I'd like to.
Colonel Harrison will murder me for this.
Well, I'm sorry, Charlie. I'll have you put aground. I'll tell you what, I'll ask Harrison to put you on as ground radio contact, and it'll seem as if you're right here with us.
He won't do it, sir.
Well, he'd better. I'll have him busted to corporal for letting you sneak aboard. Look, Charlie, you better be off. Paulison.
Yes, sir.
I'm sending this man aground. Give him time to clear the launching platform.
Yes, sir.
So long, Charlie. I'm sorry.
Good luck, Skipper.
I thought you were going to have him drawn and quartered. If it had been anyone else, I would have, Smitty. But Charlie, well, he's kind of special. He's been with me since my first command when we began the regular run to the moon. And if he wanted to come along this time, well, it's only through loyalty to me.
You know, Lewis, I didn't realize it before, but you're almost human.
Captain Dawson, nav control, Collier.
Oh, yes, Lieutenant. How badly are we fouled up? Can you recalculate the course, or shall I cancel the takeoff?
I've already plotted a new course on the integrator, sir. If we take off in exactly 30 seconds, we'll need to correct for only a 1-degree deflection. I can do that before we breach the stratosphere.
That's quick work. Are you sure?
Yes, sir. Positive, sir.
All right, Collier. I'm putting it in your hands. We'll blast off on your signal. Bridge to engine room. Prepare to blast off on navigator's signal. How are we doing, Collier?
Coming on the bearing, sir. That's 4, 3, 2, 0. We've intersected the course vector.
Good work, Collier.
Course is corrected, sir. We're ready to go into atomic overdrive anytime you say.
All right. Stand by.
Yes, sir.
Now hear this. Now hear this. Prepare for maximum acceleration. Bridge to engine room. Kill your rockets.
Rockets out.
Fire up number 1 cyclotron.
Number 1 ready.
Fire up number 2.
Number 2 ready.
Withdraw your dampening rods.
Fission chamber ready. Blast tubes cleared. All generators operating at capacity. Take it over, sir.
Go into overdrive at the count of 0. 3 seconds, Mr. Collier.
3,
2,
2,
1,
1,
0.
0.
How are we doing, Collier?
On course, sir. She's running hot and true.
My compliments, Lieutenant. This job would have done your father credit, and he was the best navigation officer I ever saw.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Start your gyros. Put her on robot control. All right, the bridge is yours, Mr. Collier. If you need me, I'll be in Dr. Smithson's office.
Yes, sir.
Well, Lewis, I see you got us off the ground.
You can thank young Collier for that. Chip off the old block.
You knew his father?
As a matter of fact, I knew him very well. First-rate spaceman.
Oh, is he the one
Yes,
who...
yes. He was lost in the galactic barrier on the second ship we sent out to Volta.
Lewis, just what do you think this galactic barrier is?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine, Doc. All I know is that 5 ships have gone into it, and none of them have come back out.
You think it's a nit? How about Mestrovic's theory that it's a time warp in space? That the ships reach it and slip into another dimension?
I think that's a lot of rubbish. My theory is that the galactic barrier is nothing more than a radioactive layer of some kind.
Why do you say that?
Well, we know that radar signals bounce off it like they were hitting an invisible glass wall. And we know that it destroys our ships and crews in some way. There's no other logical explanation.
What makes you think we can get through it, Lewis?
Because we're ready for it. The others weren't. The entire hull of this ship is completely shielded with lead. We can crack through any radioactive cloud ever detected. Besides, we're equipped with some new UHF radio devices that should enable us to maintain radio contact with Earth. Nothing can happen. Absolutely nothing.
Now, who are you trying to convince?
Myself, I suppose.
Lewis, you've had your share of glory. First skipper to reach the moon back in 1962. You could have retired. Why are you risking this trip?
5 ships are missing. Men like Prentice, Margetson, young Collier's father. I'm tired of seeing good men fed into that meat chopper.
Then why are we going to Volta?
We haven't any choice, Smitty. We're in a race, the kind of race where men and ships are expendable. According to the Interspace Code, the first nation to reach Volta can claim it.
Well, personally, I want no part
of it. Doc.
I'll have to play physician, morale builder, and mother substitute for 112 slightly nervous men.
Well, your morale doesn't sound too good, Doc.
As morale officer, I can state without fear of contradiction, it is terrible. And something tells me as we approach that galactic barrier, I'm not going to be alone.
Hello, Earth. Hello, Earth. Captain Thorson of the Star Cloud calling Earth.
Hello, Star Cloud. Hi, Captain.
Charlie. Well, I see they haven't court-martialed you yet.
No, sir, thanks to you.
Well, it's good to hear you. You can read us the funny papers on Sunday morning.
Right.
How's our signal?
Strong. Clear as a bell.
Now, here's our log report for Colonel Harrison. You ready?
Shoot.
June 2nd, 1987. 4 weeks out from Earth. Running true. No radiation. Operation normal. Still making our approach to the galactic barrier. That's all, Charlie. See you later.
Good luck, Captain. I sure wish I was with you.
How's the morale, Smitty?
The men know we're getting closer to the barrier. They're beginning to show a little tension, Lewis.
Oh, how's their physical condition? Any sickness?
About half the crew has come down with space blues.
I was afraid of that. Are they bad?
Same as usual. Lips and hands with a bluish cast. Eyes are sensitive to infrared.
I don't know. When I first started flying these tin cans, nobody ever heard of space blues.
Well, now there's a theory it's caused by the terrific acceleration of atomic overdrive. Change in gravity affects the circulation.
What do you think?
I think it's psychosomatic. I've noticed that the same men who get space blues under tension on a ship tend to get blue coloration back on Earth when they're upset. I guess it's just an occupational disease of space navigators.
You think it's just nerves, then?
Well, young Collier's got a bad case. I think it's tension from overwork.
Maybe he needs some vitamins.
Lewis, when will you realize that vitamins are not a panacea for all the troubles of mankind?
Sir, I understand that you've relieved me from duty.
Well, Dr. Smithson says you aren't looking very well, Collier. I'm giving you a rest.
Sir, I feel perfectly able to continue.
Your lips are as blue as Minnetonka.
Captain, I'd like to remain at my post.
Don't be foolhardy, Lieutenant.
I'm not being foolhardy, sir. I have a special, personal reason for wanting this expedition to reach Volta.
Your father?
Yes, sir.
You think he might still be alive?
I have to find out what happened, sir.
I think I understand. Very well, Collier. Report back to duty. What's the reading, Paulson?
We're getting a +5 radar bounce now. Coming off the barrier almost as fast as we sent it out.
What's the interval?
2 seconds. Shortening steadily. At this rate, we'll hit the wall in the next few minutes.
All right. Alert the crew. Sound general quarters.
Now, hear this. Condition red. We are now approaching the galactic barrier. All hands to stations. All radiation detectors to be fully manned. Full security will prevail until further notice. That is all.
Paulson.
Yes, sir?
The radar bounce is up to +6. We'd better try to make final contact with Earth. Is Sparks still trying to raise the base?
Yes, sir, but he's not having much luck.
Oh?
Seems to be some interference. That's the radio room now.
Yes? You got him? Well, cut in on the bridge speaker. Captain will take it from here.
Hello? Star Cloud to Earth. Can you hear me, Earth?
Hello, Skipper. I can barely read you. We're getting heavy static from sunspots.
That's not sunspots, Charlie. We're right on top of the galactic barrier. Getting a +7 radar bounce. Expect to hit the barrier almost any second now.
Good luck, Skipper.
If we crack the barrier and come through still in one piece, I'll try to get back to you on the high-frequency band.
Gotcha, Skipper. Don't worry. I'll be waiting.
So long, Charlie.
So long, Star Cloud.
Must be getting awfully close now, Captain. Echo's bouncing back so fast it's almost beating the signal.
Well, when they go inside, hold on to your hat. That's when we run into the wall.
Any second.
Hold on.
Oh, here goes nothing.
Here it comes.
Captain.
Nothing happened.
We made it. We made it, Captain. No radiation, no time warp, no nothing. Now, the crew's gone crazy, sir.
Let them. They've earned it. Doc, can you break out a few bottles of snakebite serum for medicinal purposes?
I sure can, Lewis.
This calls for a celebration. How's your morale now?
It couldn't be better. How's yours?
Couldn't be better. What the...
Condition red. Condition red. Radiation detected. Condition red. Radiation detected.
Holy mackerel. Look at the needle on that indicator.
Paulson.
Yes, I see it, Captain. Picking radiation like crazy.
What's it like?
Well, it's a strong impulse.
What kind?
I don't know. It's too long for a cosmic ray, too short for UHF. Whatever it is, sir, the ship is lousy.
Well, track it down, triangulate it, and make it fast. I want a directional fix.
Yes, sir.
Engine room.
Yes, sir.
We're picking up radioactivity. Is the fission chambers?
No leak here, sir.
Check your gauges.
Nothing here, Captain. Must be coming from outside.
Damage control. Is our lead shield leaking radiation? Well, keep at it. Paulson, how are you doing?
I've got it fixed, Captain.
Well, what is it?
Well, I'll have to recheck my figures.
Well, hurry it up.
Angle is correct, but
now, come on, man, for Pete's sake. Where's the radiation coming from?
Sir, it's coming from inside the ship.
Oh, that's impossible.
No, sir, I've checked it twice.
Well, it's got to be the engines, then.
If it is, sir, we're finished.
Engine room.
Yes, sir.
That radiation must be in the overdrive pile.
No, sir, it isn't here, sir.
Are you certain?
Yes, sir.
All right, keep checking. Well, there's only one thing left to do. Paulson, get a Geiger counter. We're going to start combing this ship inch by inch.
Yes, sir.
All right, turn it on.
Yes, sir. All right. Ready, Captain.
We'll check the atomic guns first. Come on. We'll cut through the officers' quarters here to ordnance. Now turn here.
Oh, wait a minute, sir.
Huh? What is it?
The signal's weaker now.
Yeah. Let's go back. Hold it. Seems strongest right about here.
Well, it doesn't make sense.
Whose cabin is this?
Lieutenant Collier's.
Collier?
Oh, he's down in nav control, sir.
Oh, I'll try the door.
It's not locked, sir. Oh, it's in here, all right. Listen to that counter. Strongest over here.
Open that wall cabinet.
It's locked, sir.
Smash it. Shut off that Geiger counter. Now, what do you make of this, Paulson?
Well, it looks like some sort of portable transmitter, sir. Must be foreign manufacture. I don't recognize the calibration symbols at all. I've never seen anything like it.
Which raises a small question. What is Lieutenant Collier doing with a transmitter in his cabin?
I don't know, sir.
Well, I intend to find out, Paulson. Get down to nav control and bring Collier up to the bridge on the double.
Well, hadn't we better find some way to shut this thing off first?
I know a way. Lieutenant Collier, I'm going to ask a few simple questions, and I want a few simple answers.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing with a transmitter in your cabin?
Transmitter, Captain?
Oh, you know nothing about it?
Oh, no, sir, I don't.
Do you recognize these calibration symbols?
No, sir.
Can you think of how it might have been placed in your cabin without your knowing it?
No, sir, unless someone came in while I was on duty.
Would that have been possible?
I suppose so, if someone had a key.
I found your cabin door unlocked.
Well, I meant a key to the wall cabinet.
I didn't say the wall cabinet.
Well, I...
You what, Lieutenant? How could you have known it was in the wall cabinet?
Well, I just assumed, sir.
Lieutenant Collier, I find it hard to believe you would lie. Having known and respected your father, having observed the way you handle your job. However, I intend to get to the root of this thing. May I have your wristwatch, Lieutenant?
Sir?
Your wristwatch.
Yes, sir.
Paulson, turn on that Geiger counter.
Yes, sir.
Hold this watch next to it.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Lieutenant, if you hadn't any close contact with that transmitter, how do you explain the radioactivity of this watch?
Well, I don't, sir.
I think you'd better. To whom were you sending those signals?
Condition red. Condition red.
There's your answer, Captain.
What is this, Collier?
Alien spaceship approaching. Alien spaceship approaching.
Collier, who's aboard that ship? All right, now talk!
Very well, Captain. My mission seems completed.
Your mission? Are you admitting that you're an agent of a foreign power?
I am stating it.
What nation?
No nation, Captain.
What?
I am an agent of the Voltan government.
What?
The government of the planet of Voltan.
You're crazy.
Are you so stupid, Captain? Did you think your people are the only ones who can invade another planet?
What do you mean?
We've had agents operating on Earth since 1945.
I don't believe you.
What do you think happened to those 5 ships, Captain? Where do you suppose we got our information? Your language, your culture, family background.
Your appearance, you look like...
Like Commander Collier? Well, is that so surprising, Captain? You see, Captain, we had a living model.
I ought to kill you.
That would be very foolish, Captain. I would advise you to surrender without delay.
Alien ship now coming in water range.
I'll deal with you later, Collier. Paulison?
Yes, sir.
Put this man in irons, take him away.
Don't worry, sir. We'll take good care of him.
Carpenter, Robinson.
Gunnery.
Gunnery Richardson.
What's the range?
10,000 meters. They're closing fast.
Put your guns on radar tracking.
Tracking. Coming on the bearing.
Fire. Fire, Richardson. Richardson, did you hear me? Fire! What's the matter down there? Did you hear me? Richardson, answer me.
It's no use to shout, Captain.
Collier, how did you get loose? Where's Paulison?
Lieutenant Paulison is dead.
All stations! Lieutenant Collier has escaped. Seize him, men!
Don't waste your breath. Your men can't hear you, Captain.
What?
Those still alive are my men.
You're lying.
No, Captain. Every ship that has ever left Earth was controlled by a Voltan crew.
That's impossible. Those were hand-picked men.
Hand-picked by us.
I don't believe you.
No? Then why not call for help?
Carpenter, Robinson, Haley, report.
You see, Captain?
Carpenter, Robinson, Haley.
It's quite useless, Captain. I would advise you to sit very quietly and do nothing.
Very well, Collier. You've beaten us. What now?
The ship will be taken to Volta for, shall we say, further experimentation.
I see. Of course, there's one thing you hadn't counted on.
Just what is that, Captain?
Carpenter! Are you in there, Lieutenant Carpenter? They can't all be dead. There must be one alive. Smitty, Dr. Smithson! Smitty, what have they done to him?
Louis,
dirty. Don't talk.
I must lean closer. There's not much time. Louis, space blues.
Space blues? What is it, Smitty? What are you trying to tell me?
All men with space blues. Voltans.
Let me help you.
No, Louis. Get message back to Earth. Voltan, 5th column. Watch out for space blues.
Smitty. Oh, Smitty.
Captain Thorson, you can't hide from us now. Come back to the bridge and surrender, or my men will come and get you.
Hello. Star Cloud calling Earth. Oh, please, God, let me get through before it's too late. Hello. Star Cloud to Earth.
Come in, please. Come in, please.
Hello. Star Cloud to Earth. Captain Thorson calling. Charlie, come in, please, hurry.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me, Charlie?
Skipper, is that you?
Are you getting my signal?
It's coming in a little louder now, Skip. Keep sending.
God, now look, Charlie, listen to me. Not much time. Get word to Colonel Harrison. Crew mutinied. Most of crew members, Fultons.
What?
Fultons.
Spell that.
V-O-L...
Fultons.
That's right. They're from the planet Volta.
Skipper, are you all right?
Now, Charlie, this is serious. They'll be here any second. Now, listen, they have a fifth column on Earth. They're planning to invade you.
You mean it?
Of course I mean it. Tell Harrison, posing as humans. You can detect them by space blues. You got that? Only Fultons get space blue. Charlie, did you hear me?
Space blue. I get you.
They're breaking in, Charlie. I'm depending on you. Warn everybody.
Captain.
They've opened the door. So long, Charlie. Tell Hannah.
Captain Thorson. Hello. Hello, Star Cloud.
What's the trouble, Sergeant?
I was just trying to raise the Star Cloud, Colonel.
I had any luck?
No, sir. No contact.
No contact, eh?
No, sir.
Nearly an hour since they hit the galactic barrier. I don't understand why they haven't tried to get a message back.
No, sir. Neither do I.
Oh, all right. I'll take over for a while.
Yes, you do that, sir. It's all yours.
Right. Oh, and Charlie, you better go out and get yourself some coffee. You look a little blue around the gills.
Tonight, X-1 has brought you No Contact, written by George Lefferts from an original story of Lefferts and Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Louis Van Ruten as Captain, Donald Buca as Collier, Wendell Holmes as Charlie, and Bill Griffiths, Bill Smith, Matt Crowley, and Ken Williams. Your announcer, Don Pardo. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is a transcribed NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week. When you want to take over a world, you naturally look for its weak point, some way to catch its people off guard. We live in a world where everybody loves a parade, a world of press agents and publicity stunts. But who would ever dream that invaders from outer space would take advantage of that weakness and actually hire a press agent to advertise their coming? Who would believe it was anything but just another publicity gag? At least, not until the terrible moment when it was already too late. The moment of X-1.
Starring Charlie Ruggles.
Come to the barrel of fun. Come, let's put old Gloom on the run. Come laugh with old Charlie Ruggles. Drop all your worries and troubles. Come to the barrel of fun. Come to the barrel of fun.
Welcome to another gala evening with Benny Rubin, Verna Felton, Hanley Stafford, Sarah Berner, Jerry Hausner, Harry Lang, Viola Vaughn, Linda Ware and the Sportsmen, and Dave Rose and his orchestra. Tonight, the Barrel of Fun comes to you from Marchfield, Riverside, California, home of one of the largest air bases where 5,500 officers and enlisted men keep 'em flying for America's all-out defense. We open our program, The Sportsmen, accompanied by Dave Rose and his orchestra, singing So Sweet.
So sweet, so charming, it's really most alarming the way that I'm falling for you. So sweet, so gentle, and oh so sentimental, no wonder I feel like I do. I love the way you talk, adore the way you walk. What's more, you're my ideal, and I can't believe you're real. If you will have me, you'll make my life complete. I love you 'cause you're so darn sweet.
Microphone set up a few feet from the huge transport plane which has carried the cast of the Barrel of Fun from Hollywood to Marchfield, where the entire body of enlisted men is on hand to greet him, we present your favorite star of stage, screen, and radio, that gallant, dashing, devil-may-care, all-around soldier of fortune, Charlie Ruggles.
Well, at ease, man, at ease. Oh, my, I said that just like an officer, didn't I? Well, as a matter of fact, I could have been an officer. Yes, sir. When I was in the Army, I was offered a commission. But I don't know, I preferred a straight salary. I got a medal one time for capturing a man with one hand. I really did, capturing a man with one hand. Of course, if he'd had another hand, he'd probably have captured me. But I come naturally by Army tactics, you know, because I come of a very military family. My great-grandfather fought with Farragut, and my grandfather fought with Grant, and my father fought with Pershing. I don't know, they just couldn't seem to get along with anybody. I don't know. But seriously speaking, we of the Barrel of Fun are honestly thrilled to be here and at this great Army camp. And we want you all to have a good time, and we'll see you later when we put on our show. And in the meantime, keep 'em flying. Okay, you kids. You're on your own now. Have a good time, won't you? And be back here by showtime.
Okay, Charlie. Don't worry, everything will be
all right, so long.
Oh, Charles, wasn't it wonderful of all these soldier boys to come out and meet us at the plane?
Well, that's just military courtesy, that's all, Dabby. After all, you know, I'm an old flyer myself.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Feathers Ruggles, they used to call me.
Why, Charles, were you in the Army?
Well, I certainly was. I was even in the Foreign Legion at one time. Yes, indeed. I joined the Legion to forget.
What did you want to forget?
I don't know. I forgot. But I'll never forget the time we had to put down a native uprising.
A native uprising?
Yeah. Some traitor had been feeding them yeast. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was during the time that I was ordered on a special mission, you see, Davy? Mm-hmm. And I was making my way through the jungles when suddenly I was attacked by a python.
A python?
Yeah, I knew it was a python by its rattle.
Charles, a python doesn't have a rattle.
Yeah, well, this was a baby python, you see. And then suddenly, Davy, without warning, it snarled at me.
Charlie Ruggles?
What?
Pythons don't snarl. They hiss, according to every book on the subject.
Oh, is that so? According to every book. Well, this python couldn't read, you see, Davy, that's the reason. Well, anyway, right at that moment, a native jumped out from behind me with a spear.
What did you do?
Well, frankly, I ran.
You mean you didn't even try to save your face?
Yeah, now listen, Davy. When anyone comes behind me with a spear, I don't worry about my face.
Charles, in your experience as a soldier of fortune, did you ever come in contact with a Colonel Weir?
A Colonel Weir?
Yes.
Do I know Colonel Weir?
Yes.
Oh, well, I should say I do. I saved his life once in the Argonne.
You did?
Well, I certainly did. He was wounded, and I carried him to a field hospital. We were almost there when one of the enemy approached me. He put his rifle up against my chest and he fired.
Now, just a minute, Charles. If your story is true, the bullet would have gone right through your heart and killed you.
Yeah, I know, Davy, but I was so scared my heart was in my mouth at that time.
Oh, but Charles, now, you do know Colonel Weir, don't you?
Certainly I know Colonel Weir. He and I are just like that.
Well,
yeah, he's on top, of course.
Charles, I'm so glad, because I want to meet him.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Well, I'd like nothing better for to have you meet him. Yes, indeed. But right now, he's stationed at the Panama Canal.
Oh, no, he's not, Charles. He's the commanding officer right here at Marchfield.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's the commander. He's what? No. Well, I'll see you later, Davy. I've got some ironing to do. I'll see you later.
Charles, you come out from behind that refuse stand.
I don't want to. I like it over here. I like it here.
I want to meet Colonel Weir, and I want to meet him now.
Yeah, now?
Yes. There's his office right across the street.
Yeah.
Now, let's go.
But, Davy, don't you think we could put this thing off a little later?
Mr. Ruggles!
Well, what's that? Well, my goodness sake, it's Gladys Gush, the Glendale thrush. Well. Well, Miss Gush, what are you doing here at Marchfield?
Oh, I just came down to see the soldiers. You know, I love soldiers, don't you? I do, but I love sailors, too, and even Marines. And I love the Coast Guard, too. You know, soldiers are cute, don't you think so? I mean, after all.
Yes, I think soldiers are very cute, to say the least. Yes, I do.
I love generals. They're so stalwart and plump, you know.
Yeah.
But then I love majors because they're so masterful.
Yeah, I think, yes. That majors, many brave hearts are asleep in the deep, don't you think?
captains are nice. Captains are handsome, don't you think so? I mean, after all, but then again, the lieutenants are so well dressed.
Breathes there a soul with men so dead? I don't know.
Don't you think so? I just love generals and majors and captains and lieutenants, but I love the privates best of all because they do all the work. Don't you think so? I mean, after all.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, Miss Gush, I've got to see a man about a fatigue uniform. Will you excuse me, please?
Is that so? Well, you know, I'm always fatigued, too. My doctor says I'm terribly run down.
Yeah, you're terribly... No, you'll never run down.
You know, I've been trying everything to build myself up, but nothing seems to help.
No.
Isn't that awful? I mean, after all, I don't know.
Well, why don't you try some vitamin B19?
Well, does it come in a powder or a pill?
Well, either one. Won't you take a powder, my little pill?
Oh, Mr. Ruggles, I just love your jokes.
Yeah.
They remind me of my uncle. You know, he's almost 90 years old, too. Well, I should be going now, don't you think so? I mean, after all, goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye. Wait a minute. I'll go with you.
Charles, you'll do nothing of the kind. You're taking me to Colonel Weir.
No, but I can't do that now, Dabby. This is the Colonel's conference day, and I'll have him come down to the Barrel of Fun, and you can meet him there. See?
Now, you listen to me, Charlie Ruggles. I have stood for your tall stories and exaggerations long enough. This time you're going to deliver or else. Now, I'm going to find my nieces, and if you don't introduce me to the Colonel sometime today, I'm going to break every bone of your body. I'll be around if you want me.
I don't know whether to call her Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. I don't know which. Hey, Art Gilmore, what's that going on over there?
Why, we're having a jam session for some of the boys. Come on in, Charlie. Linda Ware and the Sportsmen are about to sing Daddy.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Daddy, I want a diamond ring, bracelets, everything, Daddy. You ought to get the best for me. Hey, Daddy G, won't I look swell in sables, clothes with Paris labels, Daddy? You ought to get the best for me. Now, here's an amazing revelation with a bit of stimulation. I'd be a great sensation. I'd be your inspiration, Daddy. I want a brand new car, champagne, caviar, Daddy. You ought to get the best for me.
Hey, Daddy, she wants a diamond ring, bracelets, everything, Daddy. You want to get the best for her. Hey, Daddy G, won't she look swell in sables, clothes with Paris labels, Daddy? You want to get the very best for her.
Now, here's an amazing revelation with a bit of stimulation. I'd be a great sensation. I'd be your inspiration, Daddy. I want a brand new car, champagne, caviar, Daddy. You ought to get the best for me.
Well, here's the Colonel's office. Go ahead, knock.
Pardon me, excuse me. Is Colonel Weir in?
In. Colonel Weir. Oh, yes, he's in. Oh, yes, the Colonel's in. He's in.
Yeah. Well, I think the Colonel's in, Davy, yes. Well, would it be possible to see Colonel Weir?
Oh, no. Oh, the Colonel's busy. Oh, very busy, very busy.
The Colonel's busy, you see,
Oh,
Davy.
very busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
Well, Davy, it looks as if the Colonel's busy. Let's go, shall we?
No, Charles. The Colonel can't be too busy for an old friend.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry. So sorry. But the Colonel can't see anyone at all. At all. Pardon me, sir. Yeah. Pardon me. Yes. For the last time, no. Now, where were we? Oh, yes, of course. Now, if it were any other day, any other day, just any other day, it would be all right. It would be all right, but he's too busy. Busy.
Yeah, he's busy. You got me doing it now.
Busy.
Well, then let's all for the best, because I've got to go and see about our show anyhow, so thank you very much.
That's good. Now, if there's anything at all that I can do, anything at all, just anything at all, let me know.
Wait a minute. Wait, there's one thing you can do for me.
Oh, really? What is it? What?
Put a silencer on your repeater. Come on, Dabby, will you? Come on. Now, you see how it is, Dabby? The Colonel is busy.
Hey! Yardbird Ruggles!
Well, what do you know? It's Sergeant Scrunch, my old top kick.
Well, Ruggles. Why ain't you in Fort Knox with all the other gold bricks?
Well, good old Sergeant Scrunch, huh?
Did you know Mr. Ruggles in the Army, Sergeant?
Ah, so it's Mr. Ruggles now, eh? Yes. We used to call him Alphabet Ruggles. That was because he was always AWOL. And he usually wound up into BRIG. Do you get it, Queenie?
Queenie? Well, please. But didn't Charles once put 1,000 men out of action?
Yeah, that's right. That's when he was the assistant cook. Do you get it, Queenie? Hey, what are you doing now, Ruggles?
Well, I'm managing the Barrel of Fun Cafe.
Oh, still peeling potatoes, eh?
Well, Saji-Waji, so you're still in the Army?
Yeah, but I'll have to give it up soon. It's me ticker. The doc says if I don't take things easy, I'm liable to have trouble with me heart.
Well, no, what do you know? And I never dreamed you had a heart. Well, what do you think of that? Well, Davy, you two top sergeant have so much in common that I'll leave you together for a while. What do you say? I'll see you later,
Charles, don't forget I expect you to introduce me to the Colonel.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness, if she doesn't get to meet the Colonel personally, she'll probably make it so hot for me, I'll be able to light a cigarette from my hangnail.
Hi, y'all, Mr. Ruggles.
Well, what do you know? If it isn't the twin bombers from Birmingham, Lindy Lou and Cindy Lou. Well, are you all having a good time, you all?
We all are having fun.
Uh-huh. Well, I suppose you've already captured the heart of some lieutenant?
We all made a conquest, Mr. Ruggles. But it's not a lieutenant.
Oh, well, who all did you blitzkrieg?
Colonel Weir.
Oh, well, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, what'd you say? Would you say Colonel Weir?
We all didn't say nothing else but Mr. Ruggles.
You mean to say you saw Colonel Weir this afternoon?
That's right. He always showing us army maneuvers.
Army maneuvers. Army maneuvers. Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
Sure enough. Colonel Weir is just a sugar-coated honey lamb. He's from Dixie, too.
Yeah, well, now look, Lindy and Cindy. Do you think you can get me in to see the Colonel?
Bless your little old heart. Sure we can. Come on, Mr. Ruggles.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Hi, y'all, Colonel Hunter.
Well, if it isn't my little mint juleps. Tell me, who's that seedy-looking civilian you got with you?
This is Mr. Ruggles.
Yeah, well, how do you do, Colonel Weir? It's certainly a pleasure.
Ruggles? That's a familiar name.
Yes. Well, you've probably seen me in the movies, huh?
No, I never go to the movies.
You don't go to the movies? Why, Colonel, you haven't lived yet.
Possibly not. What did you say your name was again?
Ruggles.
Ruggles?
Yeah.
Attached to 41st Division, 3rd Regiment in 1918?
Yeah, that's right.
Weren't you the captain's orderly, Company C?
Well, yes, I was.
Well, you remember me, don't you?
Well, yeah. Well, good old Captain Weir. Well.
Colonel Weir now.
Colonel Weir. Well, what do you know? A long time no see.
What did you do with those medals?
What medals?
The ones you borrowed from me before the armistice and forgot to return.
Well, Colonel, you see, it was like
listen,
this.
I'm an easygoing man, Ruggles, and I never hold a grudge. But if those medals aren't returned in 6 hours, the brig will be your post office address for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And now, get out!
Yes, Colonel. Oh, Feet keep 'em flying.
And now, boys, Linda Ware and the Sportsman will sing for you Billy Boy.
Billy Boy, my charming Billy Boy.
Oh, where have you been, Billy Boy, Billy Boy? Oh, where have you been, charming Billy?
I have been to seek a wife. How I want to find a wife. If I don't, I will soon be in the army.
Oh, we hope he will not be in the army.
Billy Boy, my charming Billy Boy. Did she ask you in, Billy Boy, Billy Boy?
Did she ask you in, charming
Billy?
Yes, she asked me to come in with a dimple in her chin.
She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Did she set for you a chair?
Billy Boy, my charming Billy Boy.
Did she set for you a chair?
Charming Billy.
Charming Billy.
Yeah. Oh, boy, I'll say she did, yes, sir. And you know what she's got? Oh, gosh, ringlets in her hair.
She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother.
Billy Boy, my charming Billy Boy.
Can she bake a cherry pie?
No.
No, she can't bake a cherry pie.
No.
No, what about huckleberry?
Gooseberry?
Crab apple?
Oh, yeah.
Banana nut?
Strawberry, lemon, coconut cream, mint, splints, and special ice cream.
Yeah. Sure.
Raspberry, rhubarb, blueberry, chocolate, deep dish, peach. Oh, it's a sad tale. She cannot bake a cherry pie.
Players will present a playlet especially written for the occasion by our own Charlie Ruggles, entitled Life in the Army, or I Didn't Raise My Son to Be a Sailor. As the curtain rises, our scene is the suite shared by Private Ruggles and Private Clabber at Camp Rest Haven. Music, Dave.
Come in. Oh, I beg your pardon, sir. They told me to report here, but I guess there must be some mistake. Oh, you must be Private Smith. Yes, sir. Yes. Well, no, there's no mistake at all. Just a minute and I'll call the houseboy. Oh, Jeeves.
Yes,
Jeeves.
my lord.
Take Private Smith's luggage, will you, and lay out his linen?
Yes, my lord.
Yeah. Well, Smith, I'm Private Ruggles, and this is Private Clabber.
How do you do?
Come in.
I beg your pardon, gentlemen, but...
Oh, hello, Cap. Hello, Captain. How are you? Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, Captain. Just sit over there in the corner a minute, will you, please? Now, Private Smith, my good fellow, is there any advice I can give you?
Pardon me again, but I haven't met the private yet.
Oh, that's right, you haven't. Smith, meet Captain, what was your name again, Captain? I've forgotten his name.
Hemingway.
Oh, yes, Hemingway. Yeah. Captain Private Smith, Captain Hemingway.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, incidentally, I dropped in because I was wondering if you boys wouldn't mind coming out to drill this afternoon.
Well, no, I don't think so. No.
It's a nice day.
No.
How about tomorrow?
No, Captain, no. No, it's out of the question tomorrow. You see, Clabber's having his recital tomorrow. He can't go. No.
Well, how about later in the week? Then?
No, Cap. I tell you, give us a call in a few days and we'll let you know. That's a good time. Now, run along, will you, my good captain? We've got to dress for dinner. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye.
Clabber, that captain is getting to be a nuisance. Yeah. And, by the way, I wonder what we're having for dinner. Oh, hello? Hello, give me the chef, will you, please? Hello, Armand, the chef? What's cooking tonight, Armand? What's that? Crepe Suzette and squab a la Maryland? Now, wait a minute. We had that last week. You forget, Armand, that you're not at the Ritz-Waldorf anymore. You're in the Army now, you know. No, you've got to use your imagination. Well, all right. Send up some tea and crumpets. Yes. It's almost time for our siesta anyway, so it's all right. Yeah, come in again.
Oh, hiya, General. Well, boys,
how are
you,
General?
Today, you young rascals?
Would you ask us, General, if we had any complaints?
If you have any complaints.
Well, I wish you'd talk to Armand, really. I think Armand is in a rut.
What's he been up to?
Crepe Suzettes again.
Oh, not again. Well, I'll certainly give him a tongue lashing.
And another thing, the captain's been bothering us, too, General. Drills. If it was up to him, we'd drill twice a week.
Yeah. Why, for 2 cents, I'd ride home to my folks and tell them.
Now, wait a minute, boys. Let's not be too hasty.
And another thing's wrong around here's the beds. They're very uncomfortable. I've been having nightmares.
Well, after all, you will eat lobster before you go to bed.
No, Clabber's right. It's the beds, General.
But our beds have inner spring, sweet dream, soft slumber mattresses. Why, here, look at the label.
All right, well, okay, General, we'll let that go. We won't worry about it. But there's one thing more. Can't you do something about Betty Grable and Lana Turner coming down to camp so much?
Yeah. Judge said it's getting monotonous. Why can't we have Gene Autry for a change?
Yes, and why can't we have his horse? Anything, just for a change.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
I hope everything else is satisfactory.
Well, it's all right, but don't forget that Private Smith here will need some uniforms. Now, let's see. He'll need a dress uniform and a semi-formal uniform.
Yeah, and some informal gadabouts.
Informal gadabouts, that's
I'll
right.
see to it. Goodbye, boys.
Goodbye, General. Goodbye, General.
Excuse me, fellas, but did I hear you say that all the beautiful movie starlets visit the camp?
Yeah, but we've got just as snappy-looking hostesses working right here.
Yeah?
Oh, say, wait a minute. That's an idea. Let's have a party for Smith, shall we?
A party for me? Where?
Well, right here. Wait a minute. Hello? USO? Send over 50 hostesses right away, will you please? Yes, what is it?
Can I come in?
It was you, Sergeant. Well, what do you want?
Well, I was just passing by, and I hear you fellas were having a party, and, well, can I come?
No, Sergeant. No, Sergeant.
Now, look, hey. Now, wait a minute, fellas.
No, you heard Clabber there, Sergeant. Don't argue with him. You know how easy he is to upset.
Well, why can't I come? Don't I tuck you fellas in at night?
Yeah.
Don't I give you tips on the races?
Yeah, that's right.
And when you asked me to make some fudge for you, did I say no?
No, but the thing is, if we invite you, all the other sergeants will want to come too. No, you can't come.
Please,
no, Sergeant, I'm sorry.
please.
No. Go on, get out now. Go on, get out. That's it.
All right, come on.
Go on, get out. Go on, get out.
Come on, Ruggles. You gotta get out of that bed.
Yeah, go on, get your bed. What bed? What?
Wake up! You're in the Army now.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, and it was such a beautiful dream, too. kids. It's almost time for the plane to take off.
So long, Gold Brick Ruggles. Keep an eye on Queenie.
Yeah, I will, Scrunch. So long, I will.
Well, goodbye, you handsome man in uniform. I love uniforms, but after all, there's no place like home. Don't you think so? I mean, after all.
Goodbye, Miss Gush. It's been lovely. Simply lovely. Now, if there's anything I can do, anything at all that I can do...
Rio would like to see more army maneuvers, Mr. Ruggles.
Yeah, I'll bet you would.
Look, Charles, here comes Colonel Weir.
Yeah, well, goodbye, Colonel. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Come and see us again, won't you?
Yes, I will, Colonel.
And don't forget to bring those medals.
Yeah, I will. Good night, folks.
This program was produced exclusively for the entertainment of the military personnel of Marchfield, California, and does not constitute or imply an endorsement by the War Department of the product advertised. Heard on tonight's show were Benny Rubin, Verna Felton, Jerry Hausner, Sarah Berner, Hanley Stafford, Harry Lang, Linda Ware, and the Sportsman. Music under the direction of Dave Rose. This is Art Gilmore inviting you to join us again next week for another Barrel of Fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, the material and direct quotations included in the following program have been taken from authoritative files and from dispatches filed by the Associated Press and International News Service. We present these statements without editorial comment. We assume no responsibility for their content.
The American Broadcasting Company presents 1 out of 7. 24 hours make a day, 7 days make 1 week. And from these past 7 days, the editors here in our San Francisco newsroom have chosen the one story which they have judged most worthy of retelling. This is 1 out of 7.
Theodore Gilmore Bilbo is an honorable man. As a member of the United States Senate, he is looked upon as such by the eyes of the law. Perhaps he is looked upon as such by many or most of his constituents. Though his voice occasionally grate upon the nerves and his views often confound the innocent, the fact remains, as a member of the Senate of the United States, Theodore Gilmore Bilbo is an honorable man, and we do not intend to prove otherwise. We merely wish to cite a few samples of his handiwork, and perhaps a supplementary side glance or two, just for the sake of contrast. Adjust your dials most carefully, citizens. Herewith presenting Senator Theodore Bilbo, picture number 1. Scene, the chamber of the Mississippi State Legislature. Time, March 23rd, 1944. The Speaker.
The chair recognizes our distinguished guest, the Honorable Theodore Bilbo, United States Senator from the state of Mississippi.
Gentlemen, at this moment, I cannot urge you too strongly to continue the valiant fight to uphold our racial integrity. We must renew our faith and allegiance to the color line. For your information, I have found that certain Negro organizations are determined to secure passage of anti-poll tax measures. It's their first wedge toward the fulfillment of a dastardly equality program which Negro leaders have launched throughout the South and throughout the nation. That equality they must not and will not attain. After his stirring appeal to the legislature, Senator Bilbo informs a small group of friends in confidential tones. You know, gentlemen, I found out that a prominent national official asked southern colleges and universities to open their doors to Negroes. You know what I told him? Well, I'll tell you what I told him. I said, Negroes will never get into our universities. You Negro-loving Yankees can go straight... As a member of the Senate of the United States, Theodore Bilbo is an honorable man, and we do not intend to prove otherwise. Here is picture number 2. Hello, Senator Bilbo speaking. Senator, this is Representative Mark Antonio of New York speaking. Yes, what do you want? Senator, I just got a letter from a lady who lives in my district. It seems that she wrote you that letter about your filibustering against the FEPC. Well, she says she stated her case fairly. And she also says that as a reply, you wrote her one of the dirtiest letters possible. Well, yes, I think I did. Well, Senator, she also says you addressed her with the greeting, "My dear Dago." Is that correct? Of course that's correct. That's what I called her. She's a wop, ain't she? That lady's Italian, Senator. If that's what you mean. I just thought you'd like to know that the lady has 3 brothers in the Army in Europe. One of them has been killed in action already. You know, if you had a shred of decency in you, you'd apologize for that letter. I'll never apologize. Why, she's getting off light. Now, listen. She really would have been scorched if I was mad. Theodore Bilbo is an honorable man. We do not intend to prove otherwise. Here is picture number 3. Scene: the chamber of the United States Senate. Time: the 30th of June, 1945. Senator Bilbo is filibustering against passage of the Fair Employment Practices Commission. And during his prolonged dissertation to the gentlemen of the Senate, the following occurs. The senator from Mississippi may continue. Thank you. Gentlemen, I have been hearing much talk about the supposed bravery of our Negro soldiers. I have it on good authority and from some of the highest-ranking generals in our army that our Negro troops overseas are an utter and abysmal failure. They're just no good. And as for giving them a vote, why, they'd only sell their votes to the highest bidder anyway, so why give it to them in the first place? At the same moment, deep in the jungle of an embattled Pacific island, a Negro soldier pens a note back home to his family. And maybe this works pretty hard, Margaret, but it's a job that you just have to do. It's been 3 days now. Got no sleep. Their bombers are still paying us visits. And it still doesn't look like the war's going to be over soon. But we have to keep on. Just keep on. I know. I just know everything's going to turn out all right. And when we finally get back, the folks will realize what we've done. And I'll bet they look at us differently. You know, for the first time, they'll see that bullets can kill anybody. They'll see, black or white, when blood runs out on the ground, it's all the same color. That's what the Negro GI thought. But back in the chamber of the United States Senate, Theodore Bilbo thought differently. I have it on good authority, and from some of the highest-ranking generals in our army, that our Negro troops overseas are an utter and abysmal failure. When Senator Bilbo made that statement, he was standing under the roof of the United States Senate. It is very safe in the United States Senate. A bomb hasn't fallen there for quite some time. You must understand, please, this is merely a portrait, an interesting portrait, of a duly elected representative of the American people. For you see, Theodore Bilbo is an honorable man, and we do not wish or intend to prove otherwise. Here is picture number 4. Though the senator has firm convictions on certain subjects, there is seen a mounting tide of sentiment equally firm, equally convinced that the senator errs. On the 10th of August, 1940, Senator Bilbo. It is the opinion of the Committee of Catholics for Human Rights that your conduct toward racial minorities is a chilling deterrent to worldwide belief that America is the symbol of democratic freedom and human rights. In a recent statement to the press, you attacked the Jewish people of the United States on the grounds that their race had damned and crucified Christ. You used this highly metaphysical argument to damn, vilify, besmirch, and otherwise persecute the Jewish people in America to further your own political ends. By lucid contrast, a few days after his attack on the Jews, Senator Bilbo is stricken suddenly with a strange ailment. He is put aboard a train and speeds northward for treatment. And is it not strange that the senator demands to be taken to the Mayo Clinic? Is it not strange when you consider that the Mayo Clinic was founded and operated by the Mayo brothers, 2 members of the Jewish race professing the Jewish faith? But obviously, the senator is not loath to take advantage of the skill of the Jewish race. In the end, the senator's critical operation is a success, and in a few weeks he returns to the floor of the Senate with another plan for the American Negroes. Gentlemen, for the best interests of the nation and all concerned, I believe a colony for American Negroes should be established on the west coast of Africa, bordering the state of Monrovia. Because of the exigencies of the times, any Negro who is race conscious and smart should be ready and more than willing to settle down in such a colony in West Africa. The very same day in the halls of the Senate, hallowed by the figures of men the likes of Lincoln and Jefferson, Theodore Bilbo, as a representative of the American people, had this to say. I cannot vote for the appointment of Mrs. Franklin Roosevelt as delegate to the United Nations Organization for the United States. No. She is a woman who has professed friendship for the Negro elements in America. She has no place representing us abroad. Mr. President, the chair recognizes the senator from Idaho. Mr. President, I should like to congratulate the senator from Mississippi. He doesn't know it, but he just paid a splendid compliment to Mrs. Roosevelt by voting against her. Mr. President, gentlemen, please, I'd like to add one more note. A word of warning to our senator from the South. It isn't going to be long now, Senator, before the people of Mississippi see the light and knock you out of office on that part of your anatomy where your few brains are undoubtedly located. You must understand, please, this was merely a portrait. An interesting portrait of a representative of the American people. For, after all, Senator Theodore Gilmore Bilbo is an honorable man. He is looked upon as such by the eyes of the law. He is an honorable man. We did not intend to prove otherwise.
The script for 1 Out of 7 is written by James Edward Moser. Gil Dowd is the producer, and music by Otto Clare at the Hammond organ. The material used in tonight's program was taken from authoritative files and from dispatches by Associated Press and International News Service. Listen next week, same time, same station, for
1 Out of 7.
This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
Five bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention, all districts. A 5-alarm fire. 5 bells. Move in immediately.
That's it. Let's roll. Let's go. Firefighters. Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a minute, we'll bring you the story of a rookie fireman's first fire and a thrill-packed ride on the giant aerial truck on Firefighters. But first, here's a message we hope you find exciting, too. Tim Collins, an ex-GI and the son of Ben Collins, firefighter hero, who years ago lost his life in the line of duty, had just completed the training course for rookies and has been assigned to the relief squad to await his first call. It's midwinter, and a snowstorm has been raging all day as Tim returns home.
Hi, Mom. Is dinner ready? I'm starved.
Mercy, son, you want to freeze us? Brush the snow off and shut the door quick.
Okay, Mom. There.
Well, that's better. Goodness, it must be down to 0.
Oh, pretty near, Mother. It was 2 above an hour ago, and they say it's going to 5 below by morning.
Why?
Hey, but say, let's not talk about the weather. What I'm interested in is food, and lots of it.
You're always interested in food and lots of it. You'll just have to wait a few minutes. Trudy and Jim aren't back from skating yet.
Oh.
We'll eat just as soon as they get in. Oh, hello, children.
Hi, Mom. When do we eat? I'm starved.
There's another one, Mom. Hi, Jimmy. Hello, Trudy.
Tim, Mother, can we eat early tonight? Marge and Betty want me to go to the show with them.
Yes, dear. Everything's ready to put on just as soon as you wash.
Oh, boy, I'll hurry. Come on, Trudy.
Coming.
Oh, Tim, dear, I almost forgot. There was a phone call for you a while ago.
Oh, I wonder who it was.
Well, I don't know. They said it was very urgent that you call Cody at this number.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I wrote it down for you.
Say, that's Chief Cody down at fire headquarters. I better call him right away.
I wonder what in the world he could want at this time of night.
I don't know, but I'll soon find out.
Hello, Chief Cody speaking.
Hello, Chief. This is Tim Collins of the relief squad. Did you call me, sir?
Oh, Collins, yes. It's this blizzard. I'm calling all department personnel out for 24-hour duty until the emergency is over. We can't take a chance on a bad fire in this kind of weather.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll be right down. Where do I report?
I'm assigning you to Aerial Truck Company number 1.
Yes, sir. I'll be there right away. Goodbye.
Well, what was it, son?
Oh, I got a report for duty at Truck Company number 1.
Oh, my goodness. Hope you don't have to make a run on a night like this.
Oh, got to, Mother. This is when I'm needed the most.
But, son, it's so dangerous. I just can't help but think how I used to worry about your dad when the weather was bad.
I know, Mother, but I'll be all right. Golly, it was a lot colder than this back there in Belgium during the Battle of the Bulge.
I know, son, but I just can't help worrying.
And it was a lot more dangerous, too, but I got along all right. Oh, so you just quit worrying. And who knows? This may be the chance I've been waiting for to show Chief Cody what I can do in action.
All right, son. Now I guess you'd better hurry and report for duty. I'll send Trudy over to the firehouse with a good warm dinner for you.
Oh, Mom, you're wonderful.
Don't forget to dress warm.
Chief Cody, Tim Collins reporting for duty.
Oh, yes, Colin. Sorry to have to start you out on a night like this. But I'm afraid if we have any trouble during this storm, we'll need every man on the force.
Yes, sir, I understand. I'm just glad of the chance.
That's the kind of talk I like to hear, Collins. You know, you remind me of your dad when he was a young fellow starting out with the department. A great fireman and a fine man, Ben was.
Thank you, sir. I only hope I can be as good a fireman.
You will, or I'm no judge of men. But now, you know your station?
Yes, sir.
I've put you with an experienced crew. You shouldn't have any trouble. Oh, here it comes. Looks like you're going to a fire and too.
Yes, sir. Well, that's what I'm here for.
Stand by. 8th Street. 8th Street, corner of Maple.
All right, men. Let's roll.
Okay, Tim?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Hey, you better hook your arm over the bar. You can hold on better in case we skid, and your fingers won't get so cold.
Oh, thanks.
Your first fire?
Yeah. You suppose it's a big one?
You never can tell till you see him, Tim. We'll find out pretty quick. It's around this next corner. Then it's straight down Maple.
Oh.
Hey, watch out!
Gosh. He cut that one close, didn't he?
Yeah, a little. But you can count on Mac. He and Lambert, the tiller man, have been working together herding this apparatus through all kinds of weather for better than 10 years.
Oh.
Only thing I worry about is other drivers. They're what cause all the trouble.
Yeah. Hey, look.
Huh?
That car coming.
Oh, look at the fool right in the middle of the street. Hold on, kid. We're gonna hit.
Nurse, I'm Chief Cody. I want to inquire about one of my boys they brought into the hospital here about an hour ago.
Oh, yes, Chief. You mean Collins in 508.
Yes, is he badly injured?
No. Luckily, he's going to be all right. A slight concussion and a broken arm, but otherwise he's in good shape. Would you like to see him?
Yes, please.
Very well. You just come with me, please.
When we picked him up, he was unconscious. I didn't know how badly he might be injured, but I couldn't wait. We had to go on to the alarm.
Here we are. This is his room, Chief Cody.
Thank you.
Mr. Collins, you have a visitor.
Hiya, Tim.
Oh, gosh, it's you, Chief. I didn't expect you to be coming down here.
Well, I got to check up on things, you know. Tell me, how are you, my boy?
Oh, gee, Chief, I'm all right, only... Well, this left wing of mine's kind of out of service for a while, I guess.
Well, I'm mighty thankful it wasn't any worse.
Say, how are the other fellas? Well, did they get hurt?
They're okay, Tim. See, the apparatus didn't turn over after the crash, just skidded into the curb.
Oh.
They hung on and came through with nothing more than a good shaking up.
Well, how about the driver in the car that hit us?
Yeah, he's all right, too. Only, well, I can't feel very concerned about careless drivers who fail to give the right of way to fire apparatus.
Yes, sir.
Thoughtless drivers are a greater hazard to us than the worst fires.
Yes, sir. Was it a bad alarm, Chief?
The very worst kind, son. A false alarm.
A false alarm?
Yes. It's criminal to call fire apparatus out in a blizzard like this, make men risk their lives, waste taxpayers' money, and endanger valuable equipment, just to provide a little excitement for someone who likes to see the fire engine make a run.
Oh, gosh, I can't imagine anybody doing a thing like that.
Probably some kid. I picked up this red and green knit glove right under the box.
Uh-huh.
Believe me, I'd like to get my hands on the kid who did it. I'd teach him a lesson and then turn him over to the police. You know, it's a civil offense to ring a false alarm.
Yes, sir, I know, but... Well, how do you know some kid didn't... Well, just happened to drop the glove there, while he was playing?
I'm afraid not, Tim. We've already had the arson squad working on the case, and they've pretty definitely tied the glove up to the false alarm.
Well, then all you have to do now is find the owner of the glove.
That's right. It won't be easy, but in a case as serious as this, we won't stop until we've got the guilty party.
I'm sorry, Chief Cody, but I'm afraid Mr. Collins has visited long enough for now.
Oh, of course, I'm leaving right now. Goodbye, Tim. And good luck.
Oh, good night, Chief, and thanks for coming in.
Oh, yes, I was about to forget something. Now, hurry up and get that arm in shape, because there's a regular job waiting for you with Aerial Truck Company #1 when you get well.
Hey, did somebody say something about a picture show? Can I go too?
Me too. I want to go.
It looks like you got a party on your hands, Tim.
Okay, we'll all go. Get your things on.
I won't be a minute.
Yeah, we can make the first show if we hurry.
Better put your gloves on, Jimmy. It's pretty cold.
He can't, Mommy. He lost them.
He lost them? You mean he lost those nice gloves Aunt Ellen sent him for Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't either. I only lost one of them. See? Here's the other one right here in my pocket. So there.
Oh, dear Jimmy, I declare you're always losing things.
Hey, let me see that glove, Jimmy.
What for? Come on, let's go or miss the first show.
Jim, let me see that glove.
What's the matter, son?
It's that glove of Jimmy's. Yeah, it's for the right hand. And the other one fitted the left hand.
The other one? Well, what other one are you talking about, son?
The glove Chief Cody found. Under the fire alarm box the night I was hurt. Whoever turned in that false alarm was wearing a red and green knit glove. Exactly like the one Jimmy lost.
Well, it looks like Tim's own brother Jimmy may be responsible for the false alarm that almost cost him his life. We'll hear more about this when you listen next time to Firefighters. In just a minute, Chief Cody will tell you, boys and girls, how you can help the firefighters in your own town. But first, here's a message of interest to all of you. And now, here is Fire Chief Bob Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. You know, veteran firemen will tell you that the best way to fight fires is to put them out before they start. And that's how you boys and girls can help us firefighters. Fire prevention starts in the home. And I'd like to give you a tip right now that'll prevent a lot of mighty bad fires. Well, here it is. Go down in the basement and up in the attic or third floor and see if there are any old newspapers or rags piled up in your home. Or if you find any, make it your number one job to get them cleaned out. Waste paper is one of the most common fire hazards found in the average home. Well, that's all for now. I'll see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, I'm counting on you to help prevent fires. So long.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back at the same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's roll.
Let's go, Firefighters! Firefighters is written by Frank Jones and is a copyrighted feature of William F. Holland Productions.
Even if you brush in a rush, Brisk Fluoride Toothpaste starts instant action against tooth decay. Brisk, B-R-I-S-K, Brisk.
When you are late and in a rush to clean your teeth, do you really brush or do you just brush in a rush? Brisk helps protect you from decay, starts instant action right away. Even if you brush in a rush, Brisk Fluoride Toothpaste.
You should brush your teeth thoroughly, but when you have to, brush in a rush. Brisk Fluoride Toothpaste starts instant action against tooth decay. Helps strengthen tooth enamel on contact. Instantly destroys most bacteria that cause mouth odor and decay.
Even if you brush in a rush, Brisk Fluoride Toothpaste.
Presenting the adventures of Jungle Jim. Malaysia, a name to stir the imagination by its very sound. What adventures are to be found in this mysterious land, accessible only by silent, stagnant rivers whose black surfaces appear like ebony mirrors? One white man knows the answer to these questions. He is Jungle Jim, gentleman adventurer, true friend of all good men and relentless enemy of all bad ones, no matter what their race or creed may be. The thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim are pictured each Sunday in the Big Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Come with us down into the jungle country. We're going to introduce you to Jungle Jim and follow some of his adventures. Jim is a tall, lanky young man whose slenderness belies the powerful, rippling muscles of his arms and shoulders. He wears the typical garb of the tropical explorer, and a .45 automatic slung from his waist. With Jungle Jim is Kolu, a powerful giant of a native who wears a loincloth and red turban. We find the two of them now ruefully surveying the ruins of what apparently was once a camp.
Camp no good no more, Tawan Jim.
Kolo, you have summed up the situation with neatness and dispatch. Our camp is, as you have just said, no good no more.
River pirates come while we gone, and lick, burn tents. Lick, take away everything with them.
I'm afraid I'll have to admit you're right, Kolo. Those devils have cleaned us out.
We go catch, Tawan Jim.
Easier said than done, my friend. While we were helping Mrs. Romney and her baby to get away from her captors, somebody was having a jolly time with our happy home here. And where they've gone is a mystery.
Bad white man found by tracks, Tawan Jim.
Yes, Kolo, I did find a bad white man by tracks, but he was a white man, not a native. Your fellow countrymen can come and go without leaving tracks, unless they want to leave them, of course.
Yes, Tawan Jim. What we do now?
Well, I guess the first thing we do is restock our camp. Now, what can I write the list of supplies on?
Here, piece paper in bottom boat, Tawan Jim.
Thanks, Kolo. That's just the thing. Oh.
What matter, Swan?
Oh, this is the note Joan left for me. Gosh, Kolo, Joan was a grand girl. We'll miss her. At least I will. She was a great pal. And take it from me, old son, women who can be a pal to man are few and far between.
Yes, Tawan Jim. Kolu, no.
Kolo, you rascal. You don't know a thing about it. Well, I'm sorry to have to use the back of Joan's farewell message as a provision list, but since that's the only piece of paper we have, here goes. 1 tent, cot, and sleeping bag.
Look, Tawan Jim. Lick, engine boat. Mission, Swan. Mission, Swan.
Why, so it is. The Reverend Chalmers. Ahoy there! Give the mission Tuan a hand with his boat, Kolo.
Yes, Tuan Jim. Kolu, help with boat.
Thank you, Kolo. Well, what happened here?
Well, sir, while Kolo and I were away for a few days, we had visitors. We've got to go to the village for new supplies. They've cleaned us out.
River pirates?
Most likely, sir. I just wish we'd been here to welcome them.
Kolu, wish same.
And I wish the government would make a special drive against all renegades, white as well as colored. I tell you, Jim, it's a living shame the example some of our own people set for our native brothers.
You're right, Reverend. And in my humble way, I'm constantly waging war against them, whenever and wherever I find them.
I know you are, Jim.
Where's Mrs. Chalmers?
She's gone to Singapore to meet our daughter, Lynn.
Your daughter? Why, I never knew you had one, sir.
Oh, yes. Quite a young lady now. She's been away at school. Just finished up this year. She's on her way to join us.
Oh, that's fine, sir.
Well, I'm not so sure about it being fine.
What do you mean, Reverend?
Well, you see, Jim, I've just heard reports of some outgoings-on out in the bush. Some new religion has sprung up among the natives. I can't seem to discover exactly what it is. Can't get anyone to tell me anything very definite about it. So I'm on my way up country to learn about it firsthand.
Oh, why, you may get killed, sir. The tribes up there are pretty savage.
Yes, I'm well aware of that, my boy. That's why Mrs. Chalmers has gone to Singapore. She's going to meet our daughter and stay there until I get back. Lynn's boat will arrive next week.
Well, maybe we'd better go with you, sir.
Yes, go on, Jim. Better we go.
Thank you for offering, Jim. But I think it's better to go alone. While I realize I'm taking my life in my hands, I feel the trot will prove more effective than a gun.
Big fella, master, on top in sky. Watch over you, Tawan.
I'm sure he will, Kolo. He has so far.
Yes, Reverend, but you've never gone so far into the jungle before. The tribes around here aren't cannibals like those up country.
True, Jim, true. But I'm going to pick up a boy to guide me through the bush. I hope to be able to observe what's going on and later wage this fight in God's name.
I wish you'd let me go with you, sir.
I'm sure you do. But believe me, I feel it best that I make this trip alone.
All right, Reverend, you win. But I'm warning you. If you aren't back in reasonable time, I'm coming after you.
Very well, Jim, if you like. I shall start inland from Burawani.
You may depend on it, sir. Cole and I will be on your trail the moment we start to worry about you.
Tawan, Jim, right, Tawan. We come. Lick, save you.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm afraid I must push along. I want to make as great a distance as possible before nightfall. Sorry I haven't time to run you to the village and help to bring in your supplies.
Oh, thanks just the same, Reverend. Colo and I can paddle it. Good luck to you on your trip.
God is my strength. He is my sword and shield.
Colo, give the Reverend a hand there.
Just shove off the bow a little, Colo. That's it. Well, cheerio.
So long, Reverend. A safe journey to you.
Come by, Swan.
Goodbye until we meet again.
Mission, Swan. Fool to go lick, all the same black jungle.
I think he's foolish to risk his life, too, Colo. But he doesn't seem to be afraid.
Black jungle men know about big fella master on top in sky.
Well, they will know about him when two Anchamas get there. Now, let's see. We'd better be getting back to the village for our supplies. Come along, Colo.
There go Puff boat to on, Jim.
Yes, Colo. And watch out for a swell. Paddle hard. I'll turn our canoe so we'll take it head on.
No more Puff boat for 7 days, 7 nights.
It's a good thing we weren't trying to go someplace, Colo. We'd be out of luck. One steamer a week can tie you up plenty. Well, maybe sometime we'll see steamers coming in every day.
Maybe, Tuan Jim.
Now, when we get to the dock, Colo, you take the list and get the supplies.
Yes, Tuan Jim.
And hire a few porters to carry them back to our camp.
Yes, Tuan Jim. Kolu fixed.
Well, here we are. Stop paddling, Colo. I'll bring us up alongside now. There you are, Colo. Out you go.
Look, see, Tuan Jim. Only one people get off Puff boat.
Oh, yes, you're right, Colo. The steamer only dropped one passenger. She seems to be looking for a friend. It's funny they aren't here to meet her. Well, here's the list. While you're getting the supplies, I'm going over to the cafe and see my friend Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn.
Yes, Tuan Jim. Maybe you help White Missy first. She look, lick, know what do.
All right, Colo. If it'll make you feel better, I'll offer my services to the White Missy. Trot along now.
Yes, Tuan. Kolu gone.
I beg your pardon, miss.
Oh.
You seem worried about something. Can I be of any help?
I'm looking for my mother and father. Of course, they aren't expecting me, but I thought they'd be down to see the weekly steamer come in.
Yes, it's quite the occasion. In fact, it's about the only excitement the town has. You didn't see any sign of your folks?
No, I didn't see them. And now you and I are the only ones left on the dock. You came in that canoe, didn't you?
Yes, I came up for some supplies from my camp. Going right back again as soon as my boy Colo gets them. But to get back to your folks, haven't you their address?
It's the hotel. They're staying there until they get the mission established.
Mission? Say, are you Miss Chalmers?
Yes, I'm Lynn Chalmers. How did you know?
Well, what do you know about that? I'm a friend of your father's, Jungle Jim.
Oh, I'm happy to meet you, Mr. Jim. Father's mentioned you often in his letters.
Really? He hasn't mentioned you until today. Oh, about 2 hours ago, to be exact.
You saw Father a couple of hours ago? Oh, where is he?
Well, Miss Chalmers, to tell you the truth, I don't know exactly where he is this minute. But when I saw him last, he was heading up country, into the bush in his motorboat.
Oh, dear. I suppose he won't be back for a week or two.
No, he won't.
Well, do you happen to know where I can find my mother?
Yes, somewhere in Singapore.
In Singapore? Why, I've just come out of there.
Yes, your father seemed to think you were arriving next week.
I planned to, but I got a chance to sail a week earlier, and I thought I'd surprise them.
Oh, that's too bad. Your mother's gone to Singapore to meet you, and stay there until your father gets back from his trip.
Oh, dear, what shall I do? There isn't another boat for a whole week.
Well, miss, may I suggest that you let me take you to the hotel first? Then we can decide what's best to be done.
That's a splendid idea, Mr. Jim. It's most fortunate you happened along.
My pleasure, miss. Well, I'll take you to the hotel, and then I'll have to leave you for a little while. I'm on my way to see my friend Patrick O'Shaughnessy Flynn over at the cafe.
Now what do you want, Labar?
Another drink. You hear, Flynn?
Now listen to me, Labar. You've had enough already.
Shut your face. Nobody tells Jack Labar he have enough. I got money for to pay. What do you care?
I run a respectable place here. Nobody can say me cafe ain't decent. You heard me, Labar. I ain't going to let you be the one to give it a bad name.
You listen to me, Mr. Flynn, who is so respectable. I pay my way. What I want, I get. I want another drink. Pour it out.
I've told you,
Pay your money. Pour drink.
All right. But remember, this is your last. I won't give you another drink no matter what. Well, me lad, what'll it be for you?
I'll have a glass of ale. You? Oh, what do you do here, huh? Did I not tell you what I'd do if I see you tomorrow?
Well, I didn't know you were here, Laba. Honest. I'll go.
You're right. You go. But not before I give you something to remember Jacques Labar keep his promise. Tommy.
Oh, please, Laba. Let me go. I'll keep out of your way. You won't see me anymore, honest.
You little. Take this.
Here, now, cut that out.
You keep out of this, Slim. He'll like one bad dog. Come on, you.
No.
Get up.
No.
Stand up here and pack your medicine like men.
Oh, please, Laba.
That's all right. Now, one. Get up off floor. I'm not through with you yet. Get up here on your feet, you.
Yeah, hold on. You're twice as big as the kid, Labar. Lay off now, or I let you have one with this bottle.
I kill him. You try to stop me, I kill you too, Flynn. You stand up, eh? Well, go down.
A nice, clean exhibition, Labar.
Jungle Jim.
You better take a good rest now, because I'm going to give you the beating of your life.
The thrilling scene you have just heard dramatized is graphically portrayed in full-color action pictures next Sunday in the Comic Weekly, which is distributed everywhere with the Hearst Sunday newspapers. Besides Jungle Jim, the Comic Weekly offers you the world's foremost features in humor and adventure. Skippy, Bringing Up Father, Flash Gordon, Barney Google, the Katzenjammer Kids, and many, many others. And don't miss next Sunday's colored poster stamp, a full half page of them. If you are not already a member of the Poster Stamp Collectors Club, start next Sunday by getting the Comic Weekly with your Hearst newspaper, cutting off the poster stamps and pasting them in the album, now available at all stores. And now goodbye until next week, when we shall return with another thrilling episode in the adventures of Jungle Jim.
Extra good news. The makers of Jell-O have discovered a way to give you rich, luscious chocolate pudding far more easily and far more economically than ever before. With the new Jell-O chocolate pudding powder, you can make old-fashioned pudding, smooth, creamy, and chocolatey, just like the ones Grandmother used to make back in the good old days. Now you can have them again, and this is all you have to do. Just combine the contents of a package of Jell-O chocolate pudding with some milk in the top of your double boiler, letting it cook until it becomes smooth and thick. When the mixture has cooled, serve it in sherbet glasses. You'll have enough for 6 helpings, and that means 6 happy people. Jell-O chocolate pudding is so simple, so inexpensive, and so downright delicious that you mustn't delay trying it. Ask your grocer for Jell-O chocolate pudding, and if he hasn't put it in stock yet, be sure he orders it for you. Remember the name, Jell-O chocolate pudding.
Quaker with a bang bang, rat-a-tat-tat, bang bang. Quaker puff wheat Smarties, the wheat that's hot from gun. The family's favorite breakfast, the wheat that's hot from gun. Quaker puff wheat Smarties have vitamins to tell. The easy step to extra pep, and boy, the taste is swell. Ra-da-da-da-da-bang-bang. Hello, gang. You ready for a riddle? Then answer me this. Oh, it's not dilly. Here it goes. Brothers and sisters, I have none. But this man's father is my father's son. Now, who is it? Why, it's me. Isn't that a toughie? Say, gang, but take it from me, your old pal Duck Browning. Yep, you take it from me, there's no beating this eating. I mean a bowl of Quaker puffed wheat or rice Sparkies with milk and sugar and topped with your favorite fruit. Man, oh man, these giant breakfast grains of wheat or rice hit the spot. From first to last delicious spoonful, they just melt in your mouth. And talk about flavor. Say, you get a nut-like flavor that stand out. And boy, oh boy, Quaker puffed wheat and rice Sparkies are crisp and tender as nuts in November. Yep, these kingpin kernels are shot from guns, exploded to 8 times normal size. And here's something else that's important, too. They furnish restored natural grain amounts of vitamin B1, niacin, and iron. Good and good for you. That's why the breakfast grains shot from guns are today more popular than ever before. So don't be missing out. Get both kinds. Quaker puffed wheat and puffed rice Sparkies. But make no mistake, they come only in the big Quaker packages that are red and blue. They're the ones for you. Stand by. Quaker puffed wheat Sparkies, wheat that shot from guns. Here comes Quaker with a bang bang. Ra-da-da-da-da-bang-bang. Ask Mother. She knows. Yes, Mother knows that quality comes first in a food. And that's one of the big reasons why Quaker puffed wheat and rice Sparkies are more popular today than ever before. Folks appreciate quality in a food. And only the premium grains of wheat and rice are selected for Sparkies. Then these premium grains are shot from guns, actually exploded to 8 times normal size. Plump, luscious, ready-to-eat morsels, as crisp and tender as nuts in November. And so, when Mother's making out the family shopping list, remember to buy the best. Quaker puffed wheat and puffed rice Sparkies.
Thank you again for joining us for Sunday Night with Old Time Radio. Please join us next week. We have our broadcast for 3 hours from 8 to 11 p.m. Central Time every Sunday evening. Have a good night and sweet dreams. This broadcast has been a production of Lobato Studios, Sao Paulo, Brazil.